Hey everybody, welcome to Monday of lockdowning. And I mean, it's not too bad. We had Thursday and Friday anyway, locked down. Um, I was already going to be at home. Good to see everybody in the chat. Luxie and Golem King Kibbled. Lovely to have you along today. Please enjoy a scruffy lockdown gibble. Maybe it's an artfully uh, cultivated scruffiness over the next couple of days just to make it look even better for the stream. Mm. So, Kibble. Hey, Emma. Yeah, that's absolutely the excuse. It's not that I'm too lazy to shave today. I'll get around to it. Kibbled, a literal leaden key, or a literal lead key, and nothing else. I mean, we could do it. Lockdown season. I'm sorry, Lexi, you under actual quarantine rules. Because that's no fun. Ah, that sucks. Well, that's what you get. Shit. Yeah, I have another friend who's in the same boat. They got tested today, and so they're in the queue a while too. So we're waiting on their results, and I'm hoping they're going to be okay. Because it would be very sad if they got sick. Very sad if everyone got sick, really, and that's why we're all inside looking after ourselves. In banana bread. Honestly, if I have bananas around, I'm going to make banana bread anyway. I like banana bread. Kind of tested on Wednesday. It was nice to have some sort of message early Thursday that said, "Yeah, you're okay." Essentially, right before everyone got locked down. Since I haven't left the house except for a mandated hourly walkies with the doggo, pretty safe. Oh, Luxie, that is bad luck. 3 full days from your Queensland adventure. You return home and then, well, you're stuck at home again. So, if you're actually quarantined, you're not allowed to leave, like, your house at all. Do you move back to regular lockdown once you get an all clear? Because I think so. But I get the feeling that they tell you specifically, no, 15 days. Ooh, okay. Well, I got a quarantine 14 days afterwards anyway. That's real bad. I sincerely hope you don't have to. Yeah, absolutely. You're gonna have to find other streamers to kill the time with. It's good though. I'm gonna have to stream more. Well, about that, actually. We're gonna save it for a little bit, but with such a brilliant lead in line, I've got to follow through on it, right? Um, yeah, see, we've got a bit more time in lockdown, so a number of things have been cancelled. So the regular upkeep of house stuff that keeps, us living in a pleasant space, I have more time to do because I can't leave the house. There's no commute to work anymore, so I'm sleeping a little more and I'm cooking earlier in the evening, that sort of thing. But it does mean that I've got a Wednesday night free this week, and probably a Wednesday night free next week as well. So we're going to have a bonus stream. I'm going to put it in the calendar for 7 o'clock, the same way we start Monday nights. For 7 o'clock Wednesday night, we're going to do Final Fantasy 1. The very first one. And, like, I debated we could speed up Pillars, right, and do that on Wednesday as well. But we've got this groove going. Everyone who's kind of invested hopefully doesn't have it as a cancel other plans. I must attend Jimble stream. That's a bit much for me. But as like a routine, on Monday night we're going to tune in, watch Jimbles play Pillars. We'll go through the story Monday night weekly. Good, right? I don't want to interrupt that schedule, and I don't want anyone who is watching live, not just in the VODs. And hey, everyone in the VODs, it's really nice to see you. I hope you're not under quarantine and perhaps on lockdown or even free, which would be pretty nice. Enjoy the fresh air for us. Maybe if you're watching in 2022 and everything's magically fixed, that'd be super great. Leave a comment to tell us how we fixed everything, and I'll go forward in time and read it. Back on track. Rather than feel like anyone who is actually busy Wednesday night or watches a TV show or just exercises Wednesday night, like every week, planned with their little sister, right? They exercise every week, right? On Wednesdays. Not every 8. Okay. I don't want them to feel missed out on Pillars and have to catch up in the VODs and feel like they'll fall behind. You know, changing the schedule is what it'll mean. So we'll pick up a second game, another game I want to play and show off a bit, because I've never done it before. Here we're going through Pillars and I'm explaining cool stuff, things I've read, things I've seen a number of times. Let's do a blind playthrough of Final Fantasy 1 as part of the Pixel Remaster collection I picked up a little while ago. It's okay if you're not super interested in the series or the setting or whatever. I promise I'll make it as interesting as possible. And chat will be right there helping me as well. I mean, it'll be a lot of fun to do a blind playthrough of a game I never played before and only read about. And it's really super old, so it's going to be janky as hell. Even through remasters, I'm sure it's going to be weird. I'm going to make bad decisions, and that'll be great fun. Oh, thanks, Lexi. I'm glad to hear you're willing to sit through a setting and series that is not super into, just to hear us play through. Damn. Terrible puns. How could you? Anyway, that done. I've clicked continue. I think we should start the game. We'll watch it pop into realization once it loads. As you can see, I'm a little distracted, but not too bad. Banana bread definitely counts. It's the best. Okay. Cool. Got it good. I can see that you guys can see the screen as well. You can see it's no longer black. Last episode, I did a bunch of exploring, right? And honestly, it's hard to summarize everything, so we're just going to do the key, really important bits. We convinced an ogre who had pet spiders to not try and kill us in self-defense, but come live at our town and keep of Cadnua. The most important thing. We also investigated the side quest where a nobleman is missing a daughter, and we investigated the Deerford ruins where we found a cult of Skaen, and they're doing nasty evil shit with pools of blood and traps that we can't defuse because they're just that complicated. And Slam Shadows has turned up again, set her free, and foiled Skaen's plot. Well, the cultists of Skaen's plot. And they deserve to be foiled a little bit, because they're kind of gross. Yay us. We're getting to the point where our casters have spell mastery. That means they can cast some of the spells as per encounter instead of per day, per rest. Which is pretty good. I think the best thing is to put Armor of Faith as a counter power for endurance. We don't think about this too much because we're no longer playing on easy. We moved up to medium difficulty, but we still don't need to focus too much on optimization just because I'm dumb. No, I should stop doing that. Just because I don't think in optimized ways. So, Flame Shadows and the others. Oh, comes the Druids too. It's good. Burn damage blinded on everyone. Okay. If we're going to be casting it enough, a lot, we want foe AoE. Perfect. And something you're going to be casting every turn. It shouldn't be something like every fight. It shouldn't be something we need to focus on to make sure we're doing it the right way. Okay, so I plugged in my mouse to see if it would help reduce that stuttering.
Hey.
It appears not to have. Thick liquid bubbles inside the tank, releasing a pungent scent. Motes of an essence swirl in the mixture. Yeah, gross, right? Use Weapons Key. Inside, cool sword. Well, dagger. To a one-handed dagger. Interesting. It's funny how there's so many rogue weapons, but you don't have a rogue character. And Wyman's notebook. The living scribbles are difficult to read, but as you flip through the pages, you can make out several passages. Near the beginning, you read, "Will be a suitable place for my experiments. There's an abundance of space, and more importantly, the locals are content to ignore it. I could probably construct..." You skip ahead several pages. "Willing volunteers. Legacy has brought many grievances to the surface. In capturing the essence is primarily a matter of timing. The ritual of the effigy serves as a good template for..." Scan the middle of the book. "Died, and their essence evaporated. Next time I'll have to try a smaller concentration of the reagent." He turned to the last page. "Noble, Defiance Bay. Results were mostly consistent across the other subjects. The challenge is always applying the method to an unwilling participant, but her situation may prove an advantage. If we could bring those memories of her uncle to the forefront, it might render her essence more susceptible to the process."
Hey.
Gross. An ornate crest decorates his sarcophagus. The name on the lid has been scratched out. Provides the guy to murder him again. God, wouldn't that be nice? Also, speaking of murder, see, you know chat is recorded in some way, right? And her uncle. We should go deal with her uncle. Like, that's a good point. Stone Beetle. We sent her out this way.
Othek were the rock. Lavaru beyond sea.
Get him.
Rith uli.
Yes, Wood Beetle. Fight the small Earth Blight. That'll totally go well for you.
Hey.
Seriously? I'm considering buying a new mouse. The problem is, I have several spare mice. I could use one of those, but I'm too stubborn. I just really like this mouse, except for the way it's messing up. Oh, look at that. Arcane Assault, raw damage, a day's attack. We're getting strong, everybody. Isn't it nice?
My thoughts
Good.
will be as silent as my feet.
It's good to feel powerful. Bad to use power to hurt people. But there is some... It sucks that these Skayan cultists are here and causing trouble. No doubt about it. Absolutely awful in every way. It's really nice that there are people in the world who can deal with it, and those people are us. You know?
I'll chew the gristle off your skull.
What are you doing? Oh yeah, okay. So Slime Shadows.
My mind feels sharp as steel.
Yeah. Nearby enemies. Just because Slime Shadows ran into melee combat with his sword, and we've been deliberately not giving him a very fancy sword that he'll use his very cool pistol. Because remember, he's a chanter, so he tells stories about how cool he and his friends and his historical people are while shooting you. because that's just the coolest concept we can think of on character creation. Someone please remind me to use stealth.
We'll keep to ourselves.
Now he's got bruised ribs.
Hey,
There's also a way out up here, right? Just leave. Yeah, Ella, good friend, loves traps.
love it.
We're just gonna put these people to sleep. Right away.
Beyond.
Beep. Did it work? No. Well, time for a fireball then. He's stunned! Fantastic.
Lavaru beyond seek.
And... standing missile. I don't know if I've done... specifically mentioned it in this stream, but I find magic missile, or their equivalent in non-D&D setting, are an excellent way for wizards to like specify and personalize their magic, because it's one of those spells nearly every wizard or sorcerer learns, right?
My mind feels sharp as steel.
That's it.
And so I often ask casters early when we're starting D&D games, okay, well, what's your magic missile look like? What does it do? What do you use it for? Summons the will of the wisp right behind him. Come on, Slime Shadows.
This thing isn't doing the job.
Oh, they're petrified. Okay, hilarious. Nothing else, but I flanked on multiple sides, but... So I ask him, okay, what does magic missile look like? How does it affect the world? How does it feel? Like, tell me about it. And boy do I appreciate that. It's a lot of a general theme. Hey, everyone, personalize your magic. Like, don't just read out the spell effect. Wizards and sorcerers, what is it like? How does it feel? Why do they do it? That sort of thing. And that's fun. And here in Pillars, we're not given that choice. Because that would be hard, right? And that's a lot of effort to put in for only 1 or 2 classes. But we're also casting middle letters minor missiles each time. And this is middle letter. So we're using her missiles each time.
Hey.
So maybe she developed a spell, or maybe everyone just uses her personalization. I don't know. Emma, you'll have to take that up with Kibbles. Kibble.
You might find this interesting.
I do, Alice. I'm not making you touch it. There you go. Call it Tavoga Might. Might +2. That's the most generic. Alice touched the trap. Yeah, but don't like lick it. Maybe disarm it this time. Root symbol has been painted on this canvas and streaks with something that looks like blood. Scan bone. Bet there's a trap here. Nope, cool. No one called for licking. Jeez, that's a lot of them. We're out of spells. We will fight them after a rest, what I'm saying. Taking a quick nappy nap. Hey, you know what I didn't say when we walked in here? Or if I did, haven't said it today, and I should. We're in a dungeon. Yes, we are. This is the dungeonest of dungeons. Get him. Oh, okay. Something about the last one's gonna be...
My mind feels sharp as steel.
Honestly, I have no one's arm except maybe the Skayan cultist leader. Let's have a generic attack for a bit, Ally.
I shall deal with this one.
Perfect.
Moe ixi ana.
Started moving away before we finished the fight.
Hey. Hey.
So I'm playing a lot of Final Fantasy 14. No one is surprised. It's a good game. Highly enjoyable. Been playing it over a year now. Subscribed over a year too, so geez, getting that money. Capitalism. Anyway, I was thinking about a curious quirk in their job and character system that makes everything a lot harder. Yes, harder. Even though I defend it quite often in these sort of discussions. All of the characters here, Alof, Durance especially, have the character classes built in as a fundamental part of themselves. And of their design, right? Oh, two of our people are confused and frightened. Can extend the duration of the beneficial. Maybe there's a way to remove it. Like the immunity, confused and dazed. Good job, buddy. So, in Final Fantasy 14, the Warrior of Light, the main character, is able to learn every class. Essentially has them at the same time, even if they're not all active at the same time. And I think that makes it really hard for people, and especially players, to develop a consistent idea of what their character is like in their head. Mind blades. Because all of these intricate and clever NPCs that we have are clearly designed around the class they play and their role in the party. I find in these sort of games, CRPGs especially, they're nearly all developed in that way, with fixed classes that build in very well to their characterization. Some of them could shift. For example, it does actually
here. I shall listen for them.
make sense that Edér is a fighter.
I'll see what I can do.
He was a
The
soldier.
work of a moment.
He could have been a barbarian. A crit symbol has been painted on this canvas in streaks of something that looks like blood. But here we are. Skulls have been lashed to this wooden effigy. But in Final Fantasy 14, as you can be every class, it's actually kind of hard to picture your character as what they do and who they are. Path ends in a precipice. The remains of a ruined bridge lie on the other side of the chasm. Spectaria. The darkness below continues as far as you can see. Broken stone pillars, remnants of the missing bridge, rise from the abyss. Across the gap, you think you see a long stone bridge. Wooden beams protrude from stones on either side of the chasm. Despite their age, they look sturdy enough to hold a grappling hook and rope. So, we could create a crossing, but we've already been over there. And we don't need to, right? This dungeon is clearly built to be marketable. You can decorate your apartment however you'd like. Stone wall, skull wall. The choices are endless. Because you can come in from this direction. Oh, combat started. Okay. Oh, yeah, that's right. I feel like we nearly walked in here and it didn't. Now Alice is very close to... Great. Weakened and terrified, please. Nope, heal. Did your spell go off, buddy? Did it? Okay. You've been knocked down. Okay.
They both slumber.
Oh, buddy. Just toss the grappling hook. You don't need to keep track of it. It's fine. It's gonna bounce off the walls. Hold on to the end.
Wait.
The what now? The end of the grappling hook. The what? Oh boy.
Sealness. Me too.
Not to be a jerk, this is not going well.
Got him. Hey.
Lost Talos. Grieving Mother took a lot of damage. That was not great. I think we're okay now, though. Man in bloody robes lies dead upon the table. A heavy crust of blood surrounds his mouth and eyes. Also, that's a rack full of spikes! Hey look! A rope and grappling hook, just in case you didn't have one earlier. If I'm sit down lower, you can't see me. That's no good. There we go. It's better. Adjusted the camera earlier. I feel like it's worth clearing this place out, even if we've, solved the plot. The torch rack is splattered in blood and gouged by fingernails. Okay, gross. Thanks. Look. So it's a relatively unwanted surprise, Luxie. I mean, that makes sense to me.
The work of a moment.
Free freezing bullet trap.
I want to see what I can do. The work of a moment.
Someone has skinned this all in and strung up its corpse. The dried flesh is tough and leathery. Oh. Jeez. Well, they don't pull any punches, do they? These guys partied too hard. Yeah. We walked right into him. Here he is. Just open up by wall forming, okay? Do extra burn damage in here too.
Lavaru beyond sea.
I don't know if I'm...
Uluthen!
Slam Shadows, I appreciate your enthusiasm, but there are no enemies left here. No longer need to keep chanting. List of names! Priest sheet of paper contains a list of names. Some have been crossed off. 1. Udit, leaves window open at night. Small house in the edge of Kindle Vale. Yugurto, visiting from old Valia, doesn't speak Edérian, keeps to himself, won't be missed. 3. Tearfest, lives in a small encampment on the road to Logholm. Takes solitary walks each morning at sunrise. He could be most vulnerable then. Belmis, his parents leave him alone after temple service each Godanang. Sinless, visits a mistress in Vale Reach every third false stag. Get him on the road. Check Gilded Vale and Audra's Gift. May find more interested parties there. Old Dungeon Key. The final journal of Jonas again. We picked this up before and I read it out quite dramatically. It was very good. If we're finding it in multiple locations, it seems like it's some sort of scripture or holy book to Skayan. And that means that the final journal of Jonas is not a unique item we found in here about the effigy that happened in a nearby place. It's just something that the Skayanites distribute and reproduce as part of their dogma and scripture, really. 1, it's kind of fucked up. And 2, that's kind of fucked up.
Quiet.
But we've had that experience the whole time whenever we're talking about
I'll see
Skayanites.
what I can do.
What you
The
gonna
work
do?
of a moment.
Take free camping supplies so that poor old bruised ribs Alos can survive the night. Fucked up in his world building. Yeah, like, there are a lot of... Hey, if you could enter one fantasy world, what would it be? Pillars is a bad choice. Because it's got fucked up world building. A stained and rumpled bedroll appears to have been used recently.
My eyes are peeled.
Damn. Alright. This is a terrible choice. I mean, chat, if you've got a vote where you'd go, it's a decent question. Where would you jump into a fantasy world? Hmm, not sure. So here we are on the other side of the dye mill. We're also in the middle of the night. It's very well timed on my part. The thick hide stretched thin on the rack looked like it came from a stalker. The curing and waterproofing agents have lattered over it and give off a heavy odor. The final journal. Notice again. We're at Stinky Man's house. We try to leave. What are you? Effigy's eyes! Stab him! Stop him! He raises his axe, rage in his eyes. We could just leave. Ah, too late. He raises his axe. He immediately starts casting a spell and does not appear to be wielding an axe at all. You did. You get him, Grieving Mother.
I shall
Now,
end this.
use your sweet greatsword. Womp. Yeah, they're in trouble. Huh, hey, Seven.
I wish you.
Look, if 6 heavily armed adventurers who look kind of suspicious come up from your back room, I'd go, right, jigs up, sorry. Please don't kill me as you're very clearly going to do. No one can catch us stealing. If everyone in here is dead. Also, we didn't lose any rep to killing these people. We would have if we stole from them. That's fair. I don't argue with that. That makes sense. The farmer's plight. Return to Rumble. Why did that get updated? We killed Tear Girl. Yeah, whatever. I have no issue with this. We're doing fine. Exactly, Luxie. We're gonna hand in a couple of side quests. Hey,
Good day, stranger.
Andrea, got a dragon egg? Highly infected tits! She clasped her hands together, wincing at the pain. How'd you manage that? Well, I found the nest you spoke of. Hope those worms didn't give you too much trouble. Let's see it then. She cradles the egg with a good arm. Amazing. Not a single crack. That is because Edér has good athletics, and we made him make several checks to tie up the egg correctly with several grappling hooks. You've lost an item, dragon egg. She hefts the egg into the back of her wagon and rummages among her shelves. Here, take this. She drops a stack of coins and a parcel of ingredients into your hands. Everything you need to brew a good, strong pick-me-up. Should come in handy with the kind of scrapes you seem to get into. Yes. She leans closer. And come see me anytime you need potions or ingredients. Alright, I got a special price for friends. She winks. David Village. Moderate positive. Alright. That's complete. Nest egg. What a lovely little quest. Return to Lord Harron to the Dracogen Inn. Hey, fuck up. Just making sure there are no other ones. That's it. Only a couple side quests here. Yeah, we'll do some murdering right after we talk to Pig Farmer. Yeah, pig. Do you like pigs? I like pigs. Hey, Rumbulb.
Good day, stranger.
Any sign of the ogre? Or its egg? Or its head? I convinced the monster to leave. You won't be seeing him again. He pulls his hand in 2 shaking fists. His face starts to redden. But that son of an all-in whore thing devoured my entire herd. I wanted it dead, and I wanted to mount its head on a pike. That's unreasonable. Weird that it's telling his reputation gains as well here. It's cool. The ogre is no longer your problem, and that's what matters. Well, that's disgusting. Then you should have dealt with the problem yourself. Now stop yelling and start paying, or you'll have another problem on your hands. Aggressive, David Village, -1. Gear 400? Perhaps this will make up for the loss of your pigs. Benevolent, moderate, positive. Alright, chat. You got a minute? Let's do a thing, right? You got 1, 2, 3, or 4. You can even see the results of your choices. So, like, have fun. A vote for 1 for Luxie. That's pretty standard. I'll just say, well, it's no longer your positive, man. And no longer your problem. You deal with it however you want. Yeah, big shit. Now, Golem King, you said we're no charity, but you haven't cast a vote on what you would like me to say. That's the only thing you... Free! Oh, well, it's tempting. Vote? There's a vote. Now, Emma, you're totally right. Luckily, we're looking at the options right now. You've just got a bit of time. Not everyone's cast a vote yet. I'm gonna wait until you cast your vote, okay? That gives everyone a little bit more time. Maybe Golem King has suddenly decided we are a charity. And kibbled. Okay. Well, I'm happy to wait for you. You're all good people. Unless you've been lying. If you're really good people, you'd probably choose 3, so we can yell at a poor person who's lost their life. I'm not that judgy. I think it's funny. Alright, we got several votes for 1. I'm just waiting to see if kibbled. 4? Yeah, I like 4 too. But I'm afraid the 1s have it. The ogre is no longer your problem, and that's what matters. He takes another long, deep breath. You're right. Take this for your troubles. I should look on the bright side. The ogre's gone, and I can start rebuilding my herd. He crosses his arm and looks at his piglets. In another 6 months, these will be grown and ready to breed. Although he takes one of the pigs and gives it a quick examination. This runt's still looking too small. I don't expect to get any good litters out of it. I'd just as soon not have it weaken the rest of my stock. Why don't you take it? Just give me one less mouth to feed anyway. The piglet trots over to you, its pink snout wiggling. Quest complete. You gained an item. Piglet added to inventory. Pick up the piglet. Put it in Flame Shadow's pet slot. Thank you, kitty. You're a good kitty. You served us well. Piglet. This young pig is roughly the size of a small dog. It half trots, half runs at your side in an effort to keep pace and snorts appreciatively when its flanks are scratched. Piggy, pig, pig, piggity, pig. There's pig. Pig! Right there. So, bet you guys are happy we didn't yell at him, huh? Yeah. That may be Golem King. He might just feel like, I don't give a shit. Gareth the Drunkard, bad visitor. I feel like we want to turn up before, right? We want to turn up before he leaves. Okay. The patron, we also picked up a quest to this. Magic quest. Eat the piggy. He just said he did not want to raise it to a point where he could eat it. Now we're not even experts and we're going to eat it. A series of murders has shocked and terrorized the scribes of White Rock Isle. Sequestered in their island monastery in the Boot of Ondra, they have had little success reaching out to the mainland for help. Though renowned for their integrity and artistic talents, the scribes may be unknowingly harboring someone who's attempting to sabotage their work on forbidden books. Tana, please, go deal with these people who want to destroy books. Terrible. We don't trust any people who destroy books. Nazis do that. And what books do Nazis destroy? Sex positive and trans literature. Because they're always the first targets. Fuck
How may I
Nazis.
help? Hey.
Right. We're gonna go in. I was gonna squish him, exactly. We're also gonna have a nap before we talk to the Lord, because we're injured and have spent our spells. Hey, Dengler.
Hail and well met.
Fantastic name, Dengler. Whoops. Just clicking on all the wrong things. 2 might, 2 constitution, 2 intellect, please. 200 copper is nothing for that. Farm construction completed. Steel leaving in a day. Okay. I think we got rich after raiding some tombs. weapons and armor merchant. Now we're gonna do the merchants, these three, and then we'll start. Well, that one as well, 4, and then we'll start. Oh shit! Um, then like Chattanooga is getting pretty close to done. We've got 40, still got 40,000 gold. We should look at some upgrades. Up we go. All right, Harrond. I expect there'll be a dialogue choice, a bit of a vote for us here when we decide what we're going to do with a old bastard. Shut this door when the piggy moves. Let's just like casually surround him.
What are you doing up here? Unless, have you news of my daughter? I've got to get her out of this wretched village.
Hold on, my wife is asking for something in chat. Nope. Looks like it'll take me a while to find it. Maybe. Nope. All right. Wait. Chat, you're all very lucky I'm doing. Okay, there it is. Oh my god. There you go. Pre-chat, door shutting, nothing sauce. All right, there you go, Emma. That is exactly what is going through my head as when we pick up the pig. Okay. Could have posted it at break, but no. Lord Harrond, an elder man paces in the corner of his room, gnawing the thumb of his fine silk glove. What are you doing up here? Unless, have you news of my daughter? I've I've got to get her out of this wretched village. He resumes his pacing. I found Alis.
My daughter? Is she safe?
Hey chat, 1 or 2. Like straight off the bat, what are we doing? We saying I let her go or lying saying she's dead? Yeah? One vote for 1 for Luxie, yes please. 2 votes for 1. 1 from Luxie. And 1 from Deadman. Golem King, that's good. I remember the last time we specifically spoke to someone saying, hey, the person you're hunting has escaped. And they were like, great, I'll kill you. Not that he was that difficult, and we've been killing the whole crime family anyway. So really, that's just continuing the theme. Well, that's an overwhelming vote. We have 7 viewers and 1, 2, 3, 4 people who voted for 1, so let's just go. I let her go.
That can't be. What happened?
His face is ashen. He looks back at you, his eyes suddenly fearful. We have another vote. Golden King. Why is our solution always to tell the truth and then commit murder? Some people aren't ready to hear the truth as it is told, and then we kill them. Yeah, another vote. So 1, you know exactly what I discovered. And 2, I should kill you for what you did. And 3, you can't get to it now, and that's what matters. And 4, I'll tell everyone what a monster you are. And 5, I didn't come here to talk. Pay up or get out of here. Now, remember, one of the things we discovered is that Lord Harrond made his daughter, niece actually, I don't think actually his daughter, pregnant. So being pretty angry at him is very reasonable. He also kind of kidnapped her. She did not want to go. Yeah, niece, exactly. Thank you, Lexi. She did not super want to go, and that's why when we gave her an option, she's like, yeah, I'm getting the hell out of here. 2 votes for 2, 1 vote for 1. We've still got a few more people ahead. Let's do it. And if anyone is Google searching what happens in the quest when we choose it, got a plan. Not the way we do it. We make our mistakes and we live by them. Because in the end, it is just a video game and it's gonna be okay. Yeah? I also like truth followed by murder. Because honestly, when you tell people the truth honestly and carefully and calmly, if they decide to murder you, it's yours. Like, it's their decision. Were to just directly attack, not threaten to. Well, I mean, 2 seems most likely to lead towards a we're going to attack now. And we've got 3 votes for 2. Hey, Z Feldspar, good to see you. Nice to have you tuning in. 3 votes for 2 and 2 votes for 1. I think I'm going to call it unless we get a last minute one. Just a few seconds left. Gotta wait for the stream delay too. Now the satisfying attack. Yeah, we're definitely going to kill him. Well, we'll see, right? Number 2.
This would be a bad place to start a fight, traveler.
He looks slowly around the inn. Are you kidding me?
Take this, and let's put this unpleasantness behind us.
And here we go. He dumps a bag of coin into your hand. We have 4 options. One of them is go. Just say it. 2, might 14, which is a stat that we have so we can do this. Not so fast. If I'm going to forfeit the pleasure of burying a knife into your gut, I expect better compensation. Aggressive. Deerford Village. Extraordinarily positive. Resolve 14. Again, another stat that we have and can use for these, and that's why we have it. Rumors travel fast. Certainly faster than caravans. Do you really want to take that chance? Also, very positive. And kill Harrod. My thoughts exactly. Aggressive. And another extraordinary positive. Deerford Village clearly want this man dead. Wait, that's not even an attack? You can kill this man in chat? I think it's likely... I mean, he's a city lord. I wouldn't be surprised if we just hit 4 and then he dies. But it would also make sense if it starts combat, we need to fight the rest of his guards to get out of here, which I'm willing to do, right? That's totally fine with me. What does 3 actually lead to? Do you really want to take that chance? I don't know. The only way to find out is to successfully convince everyone to go 3, but it looks like with 4 people voting for 4, we're going to attack him. Be damned to the consequences. Let's go. 3 does seem like more dollary dues, right? 4. Your blow dispatches the old man more quickly than you'd like, but you're confident no one has hurt you. You're also confident no one will ask too many questions when they find him dead. Defiance Bay, major negative. You've gained 1,200 copper. Quest completed, Blood Legacy. So, in Defiance Bay, we're still a hero. And in Deerford Village, we're also a hero. We loved what we did here. Getting some extra money out of it. As well as a neat necklace. Still can't steal that. Solemn King? We killed him in text. Hey, Degler.
Welcome.
Can't even ask him about it now. So we're actually gonna
Greetings.
do a side quest, which I know, everyone is surprised. Go back and stab his thoughts a little bit more. I think that's a bit unnecessary.
May
Here,
Wal watch your step.
Durance we
You
don't need
walk
right
your
now.
path, I'll walk mine.
We do need Sagani. I want to level up Sagani. And you're like, why? And I'll show you, don't worry. Sense. Nope. Revive. Heal. We do need that. I don't have enough.
I'm here.
Yes. Blessing to have her back. It's always good to see Sagani.
Of course.
And I bet no one is too sad that we dropped Durance, right? But I do think it was interesting that it was there to tell off Scale worshippers.
So, Alof, have you ever woken up to find your other half used your body during the night?
I don't think I understand you. And I'm not sure I want to.
Well, I've found that if I go to sleep hungry enough, I wake up covered in blood and delightfully full.
Worrying, dude. 24 hours. How one day. Can we get to Cadnua before the drunkard leaves? Yes, we can! I can't believe we're doing this. We're going to Cadnua specifically to talk to a drunk and then leave. I want to show you what this event is. I don't remember it, but I believe it is worth doing. That's all.
The storms and the spirits in this place have begun to heal.
Yes. You've said that a couple of times, honey. No new news. It's weird that... I guess we're just famous enough that Reputation with Defiance Bay drops when we kill people. People from Defiance Bay, right? He's a lord. We killed him, so what? But, hey, Gallof the Drunkard. I just need a second of your time. Hello, greetings, Lord Slam Shadows. I was hoping to talk to you. I'm in a spot of trouble. This man's breath stinks of ale. Very well, let's hear it. You call your allies together and motion for the petitioner to step forward. Also known as Slam Shadows is very much slumped on the throne of the steward. Now that's proper bearing for a lord. The thing is, I've worked up a few debts in Difford and a few other places. More than a few. I haven't got the coin, my lord. I'd pay it off if I could. I was thinking, maybe you know of someone looking to hire on or something. I am willing to work. I'm like, yeah, I know where you can pay for your debt. Mean, Loxy. We go back and say, hi there, and then leave. That was an option. I haven't learned much of a trade. What did you have in mind? He fidgets nervously. We could talk to Bella Sedge at the Brackenberry Sanitarium. He could help with the research. Well, on the second thought, perhaps not. Oh, well, do you have any other ideas? Don't worry, I can settle this. Thank you, my lord. I wasn't sure anybody would care, really. Just give him 1,200 copper pieces. This ought to be enough to settle your debts. Minor positive for Difford. The CS is a hero. I don't mind giving him some money. I don't want to say 3 or 4 yet. So... 3 herds of pigs. It's a lot of debt. The man's eating a lot of bacon. I'm going to send him to the sanitarium. Like in death, you mean? Suppose that ought to pay well, at least. He bows awkwardly. Thank you. I'll head out there as soon as I can. Day off the drunkard leaves the stronghold. 200 XP gained. That's it. That's the whole reason we went here.
I trust all is well. Please let me know if there's anything I can do to help.
Bella Sedge was one of the non-murderous, non-mean, shitty people who worked there. So I don't feel too bad about setting someone there.
Greetings.
A lot of junk to you, but I don't think there's anything we need right now. Let's see the quacky one. Yeah, she was a little quacky. That's certainly true. But she wasn't actively killing people or using them as test subjects for no reason. Bella Sedge, as far as I remember, was like, oh yeah, we're researching Awakened Souls. But that's it. It was vaguely uncomfortable to Alos, but
Better indeed.
we were also like up in Alos' business, and he hates that anyway. So why those three? Because we're going to Pearlwood Bluff. I think last episode we kind of stepped into Pearlwood Bluff and then went, whoa, not now, and left. Grandfather's Soul Hunter was arrived seeking employment. She was nearly set upon by brigands, but your patrols intervened. And then they left. So they stuck around for a day and then left. Alright, well, sorry, I couldn't hire you because I was traveling all day. Bluff sounds cliffy. Yeah, we stepped here and went, oh no, because
Look like the cliffs from your vision.
this is where Sagani's quest happens. So rebooting, if you're in the chat, nice to have you along, and if you're not, I'll see you in the VODs, okay?
Seal me. Griff Ulika!
That's it.
Terrify these priests, please, Flame Shadow.
Lavaru.
Lavaru, be on seek!
Now shoot them.
Dead on.
Sagani.
Queth. Seal. Me too.
Edér overwhelming wave hits young Drake for 7 crush
Leave it
damage.
to me.
That's going to be a problem. So, what happened there was Edér's really cool saber that unleashes a wave seemed to hit some enemies off in the distance that we hadn't seen yet. Lowering speed of enemies, please. Yes, please.
My mind.
That didn't work.
My mind.
Just a few of them, huh?
Yeah.
Dead on.
Just a minor problem for us.
That didn't work.
We're not going to be able to bounce these off walls, but it's still a decent heal that's going to go out to some of the injured people. Burn damage. Why am I trying to cast that on a dragon? No. Raw damage to enemies. Excellent. Let's do that.
Seal me too.
Damn, missed. That didn't work. That's it.
Trigger's still there. We no longer have Druids for healing as well. But we shouldn't pay wages? Honestly, I think that'd help. Alright, we charmed a couple of the Drakes. Still have the young Drake under control.
My mind feels sharp as steel.
Deal with the old.
That's it. Arthur word.
Cut down the young
Good shot
Drake.
with this.
And we're good.
Queth. Seal me too.
Golden King's actually got half a good point. Not with the don't pay wages, because then people would burn down your factories. Workers of the world unite. But if you... These companions aren't paid. We don't pay them on highly paydays. And if we were at home with our companions,
Quickly and
they could fight off any attacks to the keep ourselves, right? And so, clear, distinct line mechanically as well as in fiction of what a companion is compared to a hireling. In the bay below, waves roll towards the Defiance Bay. Oh, nice. An incredibly detailed and expensive engine. You could probably see it to the north. Look at those gorgeous dragons that did not survive the encounter. Just one forest lurker this time. We're gonna be fine, okay? It's one forest lurker we knock down. What does it smell like? Salt, air, and dragons. So sulfur and rotting moss for the forest lurkers, and Salt air, a lot of it. In the bay below, waves roll towards Defiance Bay. A dead adventurer. Well, yeah.
Quickly and quietly.
Smell is again one of those senses that only gets caught into. Oof, great, I wouldn't mind. That can only be good. No, it's not as effective to just launch a fireball to start combat, but it is very funny, so I like doing it.
Yes? Ah, thank worth and
Deal. Smell is one of the senses that doesn't come up unless there's something highly specific or like purposeful written in your box text as well. And so I'm not going to say, hey, remember to include scent more in your games, because until you've done it several times, your players are going to be like, oh, we need to pay attention to this. The law of conservation of detail means that your tabletop players are going to go, well, shit. Okay, I use my scent ability. I sniff this plant. I do X, Y, Z thing all the time. And that, while that's cool, it's also frustrating to take several actions that feel like they go nowhere in game all the time. In personal news, I'm sad that a Pathfinder game was supposed to go ahead last Friday, and then we had a lockdown. Also, largely, yeah, I guess you're kind of right. It's more like Visions. Smallish map too. We've explored nearly all of it and killed everything there is to kill. Adventurers! There are some small dragons, their followers, and some elemental spirits that immediately tried to kill us. A lively breeze ruffles your clothes as you approach the edge of the bluff. A cave mouth yawns from the cliff face. It's only a dozen feet below your position, but the weathered rock is too smooth to scale. A rock perches near the precipice. It feels like a sturdy anchor. Tie a grappling hook to the rock, tie your rope to the rock, securing it with your grappling hook, and climb down. You fasten your rope to the rock and descend. Suddenly, a strong gust of wind whips along from the bay. You struggle to hold onto the rope as the breeze tosses you around. You've lost neither rope or grappling hook. The wind picks up and knocks Sagani onto the wall. Sagani loses hold of the rope and begins to plummet. Oh, I clicked twice. I'm so sorry. I think it was one of us caught her. Moments later, the gale subsides and you make your way to the mouth of the cave. I'm going to check the dialogue tree. Sagani died! Oh, geez, that sucks. No, she looks okay. Without hesitation, Slam Shadows reaches out and grabs Sagani. The weight wrenches Slam Shadow's shoulder, but saves Sagani from certain death. Hilariously, it isn't Slam Shadows. It was absolutely Edér who did it. He's got the highest athletics, and that's how these things are calculated, and he's the one with the wrenched shoulder. Those sort of really cool dialogue tree things, test some of your stats, and very often athletics. And in that one, since it was a group athletics check, when one person didn't pass, Sagani, which is weird because it's 0, fair enough. The running joke is that it's Aloth every time. She needs higher athletics. That doesn't fit her at all. The failure state was, check if someone has much higher athletics. Can they save her? Yes, they can.
Hey.
And so he suffers still a consequence, but one that doesn't kill people. That's a great way to do your save or die effect. Oh my god. What are you two doing?
Dead on.
Get
I
up
shall
there.
end this. I wish you no harm.
Weird. Okay. Those sort of things are absolutely baller way to do your save or die effects, because you don't want to just kill Aloth. Edér and Grieving Mother are going to take some damage, but it'll be fine. You want to show danger and effect without ripping apart your party on the fate of the dice roll. But having consequences that are bad and worth avoiding and grind you down, but don't make the whole thing seem pointless. Now that's interesting. So honestly, and non-D&D systems do this very well. Like, your Powered by the Apocalypse, your failure states of like 6 under could be your fall, or and like 7 up to 10. I think that range is wrong. It's been a while since I've played any Powered by the Apocalypse games. Could your 7 to 10 could just be like, you fall, but someone catches you, and you're gonna be fine. And you're rolling 2d6 plus a stat, it's likely gonna be okay anyway. Here we find a skeleton, or backwards, Knuckle X, with a wizard ring that gives you extra first and third level spells, which is oh so good, just incredibly useful. Ring of Wizardry they were in standard D&D parlance, and they were very hard to go past when you're a caster. Yeah, overseeing is 10% extra area of effect, or Spirit Bane's Vessel Bane of Will. That's better. You can get area of effect. You cast area spells.
Hey,
This was a very quick one map sort of dungeon. Like, it's only worth one repetition of the word dungeon rather than 3. Because we make a single check to get in here, we have a fight once we're in, we get a small bit of treasure, which, you know, enjoyable. We like that. We're adventurous. Treasure is supposed to be our thing. And here we have a soul. As you reach the edge of the bluff, you recognize the exact location from your vision of Perthok. He was here not long ago. Sagani stands alert, the Adra statuette in one hand, while she scans the cliff. You close your eyes, feeling the aether for some trace of Perthok's presence. The darkness behind your eyelids takes shape. You feel Perthok running through the forest this time, hurtling and dashing around rocks and trees. The scenery whizzes by too fast. You can't make out the details between the blurred greenery. Something looms out of the trees ahead of you. Perthok finally stops in front of an Adra arc. 4 options. We'll use our stats first. Law 6. Inspect the arc. You remember hearing about this place. Supposedly there's a row of Adra pillars nearby. Does anyone recognize the natural arc made of Adra? There goes someone like that out in Glenfarth, across the water from Twin Elms. Thanks, Edér. I know where to look next to the sock.
Then I'll follow. In these visions, I don't suppose you're getting a sense for who Persak is now.
There's no reason to lie. And we're going to go with the clever option because that's who Flame Shadows is. Someone who appreciates the scenery. The white wins. So, because of our background, Sagani chuckles. Nothing against those stuffy forests, but they don't compare to Southern Lights over Tundra, do they?
At least we're getting closer. Seems like we've made more progress together than I've made in a year.
I thought you knew Persak.
I was just a child when he died. I remember fleeting images, but that doesn't mean much now.
Fleeting images is what we're seeing.
I talked to everyone in Masuk before I left. I heard that he was a strong leader, a dependable builder, a caring grandfather, a wise elder, a generous neighbor, a cunning negotiator.
She shrugs. Might as well be one of those impossibly perfect heroes from the old Edér epics. Do you ever remember the things about him that matter most to them?
The odd thing is, many in Masuk weren't much older than me when Persak passed. And yet everyone wanted to make sure he heard about something in particular. Our trade with the Amawa, our successful hunts, peace with neighboring villages.
She kicks another pebble over the ledge. Utamak follows its arc, his ears forward. Oh. Persak accomplished a lot that affected all of Masuk.
It just seems odd that so few of us remember him beyond the things he did for the village. Most of his family members, the ones who knew him, are in their twilight years now. And Persak was too busy to spend much time with his younger relatives.
Itamak yawns and impatiently nuzzles her head. Perhaps this is less about him and more about helping your village move on.
Perhaps you're right.
Her brow creases, but the black paint obscures the look in her eyes.
Anyway, what about this Theos character you're searching for? Seems like he was someone important to you. What do you remember about him?
Very little. He was someone I trusted. I think he was an authority figure of some kind, or he had an impressive beard.
Not a lot to go on, huh? Hopefully you can pick up a few more clues about him while we're running around.
Exactly, Sagani. Enough chatter from me. Well, Persak will find himself a new body before you even get to this one. Alright, let's go. Find the Adra arc in the woods. It's a little thing. It's a good thing to step. It's near Twin Elms. As you can see, it's grayed out. We can't get there yet. To Clîaban Rilag. Great big bushy beard, I believe the quote goes. Neri the Deft Hand to set word for the dead fire archipelago, thanking you for your role in her fresh start. I'm so pleased to help random people I don't remember several weeks after the last time we spoke to them. We've investigated here, we've investigated here, we've definitely investigated here. We're going up! Clîaban Rilag. What's some trivia about this map?
On the hunt.
Wolf Companion, Grandfather and Hunter. We'll talk to them soon. Remember, the Grandfathers specifically don't want people to enter their ruins. That's kind of their whole fucking shtick. So much so that this corpse, with Orland's Ramble Ring, Freedom, was probably created by the Grandfathers, who were like, don't go in the ruins. He was like, how about no? And then they shot him. So that they're just standing there means we're going to talk to them in a minute. Yeah, the game music is quite nice here. We will also take a nap after we speak to them.
Lavaru, beyond seek!
Sorry, Puppet.
Oh,
Always hate killing wolves. But what if do go into ruins?
Time to see and not be seen.
What if ruins were for Watcher? What if we just ignore him and go this way? Ho ho ho. No, but fantastic, well written, good god, have multiple entrances to your dungeon. I say as someone who fails to do that frequently. But have multiple entrances to your dungeon because, is it good to have like signposts to your players that they don't have to go through whatever challenge in the exact order you specify. Even though you're still setting up the challenges in a way you'd like, you're still making them feel like they have agency. Why else play a tabletop game? Even here in a CRPG, they're like, okay, signposted, go talk to these people. And you're like, no, I'm not a talky person, but I still don't want to fight for no reason. I'm jumping over here. Great idea. Let's talk to the people. Sleepwalker. A man stands before you, his face smeared with green and ochre dyes. Hyacinth furs cover his body, and he holds a spear in one hand.
Tread carefully, Estrabor.
He bears teeth that have been filed to fine points. Back to your village, Estramor. You are lucky this free-tusked Stalgar hunt other quarry today. Alright. First off, free-tusked Stalgar? If not the toughest of the Glenfarthern tribes, Hiravius mutters from behind you, his voice kept low just for you to hear. The Free Tusk are certainly the most belligerent and uncivilized. They tame Stalgars and ride them into battle, which tells you everything they need to know about their subtlety and self-preservation instincts. His snarling grin widens. Have the farmers grown too fearful to even mention our name? We are the fiercest of the 6 tribes via Glenfarth, and we are the guardians of the monument here. Okay. I'm looking for a group of people who may have already entered the ruin. So are we. He runs his thumb along the smooth wood of the spear. That is why we wait here, Estramor. And that is why I've decided to let you leave in peace. These individuals are my enemies too. If you let me in, I can bring them out for you. He laughs, and allow even more Estramorn to trample sacred ground. Certainly not. I see the famed mathematical aptitudes of the Glenfarthens were not overestimated. He's also not, like, making shit up. Glenfarthen ruins are full of, not only, weird research into animancy, but also intense mathematical and geometrical mathematical work. Let's have ancient precursors that, well, not ancient, but like old precursors that live in a clearly separate society with a different societal structure. Not may not have to be just straight up savages, but they're so good at math that, you know, if you want to be a mathematician, you have to learn from them. It's cool. Alright. What will you do? We will wait. If they are inside, they must come out. And when they do, he slides a fingertip along the point of his spear and shows you the drop of blood. Okay. Okay. What do you know about Clîaban Rilag? It is a sacred place of the builders. Neither your feet nor ours shall sully its stones. The grasses, however, he grins and hefts his spear, they will gladly water with your blood. I've never heard of the builders. He makes an exasperated clicky noise with his tongue. They are known by other names in the heathen tongues of farm folk. They are the ancients who built this place, and many more like it. And we, the 6 tribes, guard their legacy. I'll be going now. Do not come this way again. If only there was another way in. Huh. A broken bridge lies before you. Most of it appears to have crumbled into the river centuries ago, leaving 2 jagged ledges on either side of the water. You see a yawning passage into the mountain on the other side. He might be able to jump across the gap. Jump to the other side. Sagani misjudges the gap and barely makes it across, spraining a wrist in the process. Sagani. Look at that. This is something you can't see on the other side until you step on that part of the bridge and jump across. Trivia. This map was the first one shown to Kickstarter backers. First time they showed off the engine, the first screenshot of the game, the first idea of what it will look like after people had given quite a lot of money and there hadn't been much notice for a couple of months. They were like, this is what the game will look like. Look at these beautiful grasses. Look at this water effect. Look at the effects we layered onto these statues. Look at the twin forms of death, which is, again, part of the setting. It's one of the forms of Barrett. Look at this. Look at how nice this waterfall looks. Look at this water effort. It's just gorgeous. I'm not surprised that when people saw this, they went, hell yeah, I'm glad I spent money on this. And in we go. I didn't kickstart this, actually. I came to Pillars late, which is a bit embarrassing, but not terrible. I guess I'm on the outside of it, but I don't feel bad. I don't feel like it's necessary to gatekeep in that way. Came to a little late. I love it a lot. That's enough. Right? Hopefully. Quest updated. Through Death's Gate. Travel, find finds of the Leaden Key within Clîaban Rilag.
Quiet.
Here we go. I think it would be very funny for us to leave via the front door, so we're going to do that. A troll...
Lavaru beyond seek. Lavaru beyond seek.
Get him, buddy. Get him, Blight. Yeah, poor Sagani. We're gonna up 15 deflection. It's fine, she's not in combat that often. Not in melee combat. We will up her athletics just so Aloth doesn't keep beating her at athletics checks, because I think that's just very silly. Now, Edér, for someone who explicitly worships a dead god, you yell out their name in combat a lot like it's gonna help. I'd like to go in there, please. Alice, I think we can finally cast this full Ray of Frost spell without killing your companion. That!
Can't get it.
Change the angle too. That's pretty neat. Except that was kind of in melee combat. It was fun though, right? To see that spell go off. Even though it may have hurt its mech. Man, we are really lucky they removed the you and your companion share hit points. Savage massed at the gate with their arrows and swords and spears, yearning for conquest and plunder. Their chieftains and warriors feared not vengeance of gods nor the wrath of their enemies. Death would not punish them.
I'll take a look.
This is also a main story area. Everyone who plays to the game visits this place, which means it's got a bit more attention on it. Our side areas are good fun exploring those horrible, horrible places underneath underneath the village. They were fun, right? But you need to have a level of, I said it earlier, it's like conservation of energy and attention to say that
unusual.
it is Alof. To say that places that everyone will go will have a bit more of attention to them than places where most people. Again, side quests are great. People love them. I say not biased at all. Oxy! Canon, combat is not the only place where Edér yells out for Aethys. What other situation could there be? For Aethys. Sorry. I'm not. I'm gonna pretend I'm sorry.
Hey.
Setting the table.
Me too.
Traditions where you make an empty seat at the table or make a table for a place for people who aren't there. Drinks poured for absent friends, that sort of thing. Love those traditions. It's just so touching to me, the idea of explicitly saying people who aren't here with us now are still important. Maybe he does set the table for Aethys, but he's also just leaving a spot for Aethys because that makes Jimbles happy. And headcanon wise, making Jibbles happy is the only thing that matters. When it comes to my personal headcanon, who knows? We got our little piglet coming with us.
Let's go!
Did we? We did not.
That's not very helpful.
Let's... Lavaru, be on seek!
I'll chew the grass. Blood makes the grass grow.
Tell me, is that blood makes a grass grow? I'm gonna go with yes, right? It does. It's a hazard feeling burning down. I want that early. I can't move that to the beginning. It automatically goes to the end. So let's just beginning. Frightening enemies, put that up. Less damage. Drains endurance, does that. Yeah, that'll do.
Hey. The work of a...
Look at that! We didn't step on it, but that was close. Ugh. Blood and bone is a good type of fertilizer. Well, yeah, I guess so then. No arguments. Oh, adamant! Cool! it's interesting to me, and it's interesting in universe, the difference between animates and like the flesh golems we found earlier, right?
Lavaru beyond seek.
Animates are specifically made with people who, through animacy, give their life to animate, give their souls to animate those weapons and armor, right? And they're still working now, way after the civilization's gone. Hungering for always for nations and gold, they were ruthless and fearless. They're explicitly very willing and have devoted themselves and like, yeah, okay, let's do it. That's it. I am agreeing to this. Let's go. And the other golems don't. They're not specifically interested in it, and so their animacy work is worse in every way. Good, I think. Yeah. Work a matron supper plate given dinner. Well, it is 8:26, so in 4 minutes we're gonna have our 5-minute break. Okay. Tiny animate. It's a pet. I'm gonna keep pig, okay? It's also not strictly an animal, so don't need to give it to Edér. I'll ask the question to the chat to Google if they're interested.
Quiet.
How much blood and bone is too much?
You might find this interesting.
Don't accidentally walk into vampire roleplay forums and ask the question, how much blood is too much? I feel like there's a whole series of stories about that. Look at this! On the other side! Are we gonna find the main entrance? Yes, we are. Are we gonna walk out the main entrance? Not yet, okay? Oh, there's another troll. Like, we could, but we haven't found a reason to go talk to the people who said, hey, don't enter, and we immediately walked around the side. If we're gonna go run into him again, I'm gonna be like, hey, yeah, I know we broke the law, your law, but we did also solve the problem for you. How can the people of Virtues resist the profane and lawless? Where can the elm dig its roots so the storms cannot wipe them out? Having a good stretch. Or maybe I shouldn't before break time because, like, we've explicitly got a break, go stretch moment, and now I'm like jumping the gun a little. I'm gonna get cancelled.
Nice and quiet.
Lavaru beyond seek.
My mind field.
Lavaru beyond seek.
Just a good question for you.
Shed no blood.
And I believe that's correct. Perhaps it isn't, right?
Yeah?
I hope it's correct, because I kind of always hope I'm correct. I know I'm not, but, you know, it's a worthy goal, but in pretending you're always correct. Oh, wait, pretending, sorry. Corrupted druids are enemies of fighting here, specifically. They're not too tough. We're still playing on medium. We're kind of walking through this area. I think we're a bit overtuned. Huzzah! I like being overleveled. Corrupted druids imply that the corruption, a change in their original goal or a transformation in their nature. What are corrupted fighters?
Hey.
Very rarely do you see that come up. Like, if they're corrupted fighters, they're more explicitly like Red Lyrium poisoned Templars in Dragon Age Inquisition, right? Spoiler. Never could pick or accord with their chiefs. Can people find order when sunset brings darkness, but never a map in the stars in the sky? What is a corrupted fighter? This kind of implies that druids themselves have a natural order that would resist attacking people when you walk in, right? We fought some corrupted druids earlier. They were just on the map. They attacked random people. Corrupted versions of other archetypes is something worth exploring. Corrupted fighters are just, what, bandits? You know? Bandits themselves have got different implications. Anyway, ponder that question over break. I'll be back in 5 minutes. We will see you at 8:35. Go stretch, have a good over the shoulders, and we'll see you in 5 minutes. How about I put my microphone on? That would help. Yep. Thanks, Lexi. Exactly. It's nice being able to mute myself by just whipping the headphone up and back. Yeah, it took me a little bit longer because I wanted to make an old-fashioned. So, hold on. Make an old-fashioned in my favourite glass, made by my lovely girlfriend. A giant ice ball, yes, but also with the combined skill of qualified but not actually a bartender symbols with one of his favourite drinks. So I wanted us to just sit there for a second because the Spallings made a really cute noise and I was distracted by it. We are in a bad position for this fight. Okay, there we go.
I shall end this. Your will. I wish you no.
Itty bitty glass giant ice ball. Well,
My mind.
yeah,
You're not getting through me.
largely ice ball, the slower it melts, which means it waters down your drink less,
Hi?
but keeps it cool, and that's the whole purpose.
Wait.
The thing about
Deal with the pack.
summons and hirelings is that Aloth can just whack him with AoE and we don't have to worry about him. Don't worry, traps there. I do have several whiskey stones, but like I say, doesn't water down the drink as fast. What I should say as a correction is that when it waters down the drink, it's over a longer period of time, so you get the taste of differentiation, but watered down, and keeps it cooler longer. Yeah, I like the whiskey
They
stones.
shall
It's
see
just that
nothing
they're
while I see much.
it's a greater cultural consideration with whiskey, right? Where there's a subculture of it's not a terrible thing a lot of the time, but sometimes it is a bit snobbish, right?
You're not getting
If
through
it's
me.
not aged 18 years, it's shit. If you don't drink it exactly this perfect way, you're doing it the wrong way. Aloth, please disarm this trap before we inevitably step on it and make ourselves have a very silly day. Right? And so I wonder if part of that slightly unpleasant gatekeeping subculture around whiskey and scotch, especially scotch, is sunk into the
I wonder what this is.
like the get these stones so it doesn't water down the drink and keeps it pure and whatnot. Don't know. We can't get across there yet. There's nowhere to go up from here, so Clîaban Rilag, we go up, waters down these stairs. Plus, old fashions are lovely. I want to get a Mister and a dudes who prefer to be called Mister hold your enthusiasm. I want to get a Mister and fill it with absinthe so I can make improved cocktails, which are very old. Some of the earliest cocktails around. You like mist the inside of a glass with absinthe. That's cool as hell. That's also how you make Sazerac.
I'm on the trail.
I've never had one, and I want one. It's just not on the menus of the restaurants where I get a cocktail. So yes, I should just be going to a cocktail bar. Not that I can right now. It's used a pictograph, simple but clear, carved on a column in this alcove. Figures of men and women with their arms raised, carved into the top of the column. Suits of armor in the same pose have been chiseled into the bottom. Curio shop construction complete. Full. Make me another shop. The Artificer's Hall, please. We can just pick this
I'll
up.
have it in no time.
Difficulty 8, not even a
The
constant.
work of a moment.
New map discovered, Clîaban Rilag. Yeah, like we could just. I'm pretty sure that's where plot is, so we're gonna avoid it like a like the plague, which is again what we should all be doing: avoiding the plague like the plague.
I wonder what this is.
Cocktails are expensive as heck. Yeah, big There you go. Good work, Aloth. Look at Edér. Did you see Edér's pool? into the fray, pulling the animate off Alos.
Hey,
Very cool. Yeah. Cocktails are expensive for
right, then.
restaurants because you need to have someone who's not just RSA, but confident and capable
What do you
of making.
suppose that bally thing is?
Thanks, Alos. Someone's confident and capable of making cocktails rather than just pouring beer. And that takes pouring beer is hard, but making like garnish itself is difficult, not just for me but for other people. The hardest thing of the whole bar course I did. Longer training period, exactly, and it also supposes some level of like expertise with the material. Wasted a spell, but fireball is always funny. And so I understand the cost, but going specifically to a cocktail bar that will serve food so that they can have a liquor license rather than a restaurant that serves cocktails mean that they are cheaper and more enjoyable. It was a fantastic period. I had several classic cocktails. Like the first martini I had was with a friend in Sydney. I don't see them often enough. I've been in a cocktail bar in Newtown in Sydney. It's lovely. The pictograms in this alcove portray a procession marching to an altar. A lone figure lies upon the altar, and another member of the procession drives a dagger into his heart. Something flows from the dying man into a white stone perched above the altar. Time was a veil to the godless. No blessings to reap, no mercies to sow.
That didn't work.
Did that dragon just fly over there? Right? That's the new chant Time Shadows has, that he casts first now. I wanted to see it go off.
Hey.
I think it's very cool. You need to go to more cocktail bars and play this go away. Yeah, sounds great. As a non-expert and someone who doesn't do it for a profession, so I'm not as good, I can absolutely assist and make some cocktails. A column of hieroglyphs shows men and women standing in a line and descending into a pool. The figures that emerge below it stand with outstretched arms and triumphantly serene expressions. That's interesting. He's a very similar door to the one we locked down there, but not locked. Leads into the same room. Will do plot in a minute. I went to a cocktail bar with my girlfriend. That's where they are the same people that make this alcoholic beverage called Blasphemy, which is coffee and whiskey. And it's very good, but it's also very good coffee and will keep me up tonight. If you blind for that. Well, like, even then, the back is even better.
Sharp as steel.
But I'm pretty sure as soon as I stand up and spin around, Twitch will
That's
flag
not
me for
very-
nudity, so
This one repels my touch.
I'm wearing pants.
This thing isn't.
This one repels. I shall end.
But I'm playing Twitch's filters will not notice me wearing pants. And that would be bad. Very bad, given how much fun I have just screaming. Well, that's a double old-fashioned. They're not usually as tall. But I had a whiskey sampler from a whiskey tasting I did months ago. Leaving their bodies to offer their souls and forsaking the weakness of flesh and enfeebling of bone, the barbarian godless succumbed at last. Back into an imble story of his test games. I don't think I have any test games because I haven't been to a gym proper in a long time. It's all been at homework. A man, a woman carved from lustrous Adra pour the contents of a vase at their feet. Stand up and turn around. These are tighter jeans, so it would work. But again, banned by Twitch. In the water and in within the key is an Adra. I bet that key would have unlocked the doors. Alos just very swiftly picked.
Quick.
Yeah, I could, but we're not gonna. I'm not that kind of streamer. The images in this alcove depict a row of pale stones surrounding a suit of armor. Something flows from the stones and into the armor, imbuing it with a golden halo. These. 4 egg-shaped stones sit atop short, narrow pedestals. All face an altar in the middle of the
Laying
room.
low.
We're finding ritual sites all over this place and inscriptions that detail out other rituals. We don't know what they do yet, except a couple of times they've stated specifically that there are people and then there are armor. Plus they gave you a hint about what the animates are earlier. Even personality. Well, good. I can't run out of that, right?
Seal me.
Several years ago, a friend at Feddo, and the Feddo committee as well, said that they were hesitant. Literally things, some sound like they're a switcheroo stabbing. Yeah, at least one of them was stabbing. Adra seems to grow from the central pillar and seems to spill down. Let me start again. Adra grows from the central pillar and seems to spill down the steps. Luminous, egg-shaped stones are nestled within the wriggling Adra. That's weird. That's not how Adra works, as far as we know. It does seem to grow, but it's weird that there are egg shapes in it. Well, what are they? What is it? So, a friend at Fenno, in the Fenno committee, very cool, said something quite smart, and I do appreciate it. He said that he was leery of making things we do once or twice that are successful and assuming they are traditions. That's good, right? You do something a couple of times, it's very good, it's a bit easy to fall into the assumption that you're going to do that thing over and over. And this is part of the way your organization or party or plan or personality just is.
That didn't work. Need to try something else. Let's go.
There you go.
Seal me.
I'm leery of that.
Me too.
Because sometimes several years down the track, you'll be like, oh, but we've done it this way for ages. Isn't it tradition? Isn't it sacrosanct? We do it this way. Like, yeah, but who decided? Did you analyze it and say, yes, we should do this thing, or not? Scenes from a battle appear in this column. An army of men in loincloths and hides is gathered, dwarfed by a dozen full suits of armor that loom over them. In the descending images, the armors crushed the army. Why do I bring that up? Oh, because I was about to say on Wednesday, hey, I'll make a different drink and show it off on camera as well. I'll make it during break and show you. Cool, fun. Happy to make a drink tonight. Happy to do it again Wednesday, right? What if Monday next week I don't feel like I want? Adra animate is a more dangerous and larger version. But by the side, I don't like thinking next week. And I could feel like I perhaps let you guys down because I've broken a tradition. It could suck.
That didn't work.
I'm not terrified that everyone jumped down my neck and say, but you said you would, you promised today, right? That's not the chat, and generally that's not the people I hang out with. And I just have to politely say, okay, but that's not how we're doing it. That animate healed. What a jerk. There, Adra animate, heals animate, Whis heal. Very powerful. 342 healing is higher than Edér's total health, too. Again, there are 6 of us. Only 3 of them in that fight. And if you feel like a drink, show it off. It's no problem as an indefinite drink showing off. That's how I'd like to do it, exactly. The core. Perception just plus 2. Copper Locket is the legacy of some of the Anguithan's early soul experiments. The crystal inside is filled with the essence of dozens of souls. While no one is entirely certain of its original purpose, it is believed that this was created in the first attempts to build and control animates. It is said that, unable to get out, some of the souls have lost their sanity, while others formed a unique collective consciousness that kept the memory and talents of each alive. Those who wear it will swear they hear voices talking to them, guiding their actions. The locket is scratched and laid with simple neelode patterns. The crown base is decorated with a stylized bear head. Cool. Upon opening the locket, you see a 6-sided crystal that appears dark at first. However, as you gaze into it, it warms with an orange glow. I just like that one.
Laying low.
Glad that guy didn't come over and help his friends in that fight for life and death. And who just has an ambient lava feature like this? Chilling out. It's not a Minecraft you to have an ambient lava feature just sitting around, right? Anyway, images of men and women swinging hammers and heating tongs. The heating iron over a forge filled with alcove. Fighters in iron, relentless and fierce as thousands of foes. Well, yeah, I mean, if the tribes and the people you're fighting have loincloths and hides, iron will absolutely crush them. Now that we've opened 3 sides of the central chamber that they're trying to lead us in, let's take a nap. Oh, whack. Man and a woman, carved from lustrous hydra, pour the contents of a vase at their feet. Interesting that the same dialogue as over there. This is an upscale version of the same image.
Got him. That's it.
Oh, you're heating Bill by having an ambient lava feature today. Small flame bite beat
All right,
crap
then.
out of rain blights.
Can't get a good shot with this.
Rith. Lavaru.
Forgetting those can't get a good shot, this weapon is ineffective because we're just using our standard weapons when we're attacking enemies. They have different resistances that are like, they take extra damage to slashing or something. And we're
All right, then.
ignoring it, which is not amazing. But also, it's also why everyone has multiple weapon sets, and you can take feats to increase the number of weapon sets, and the game expects you to swap between them, have multiple sets of good weapons.
Of course.
Keep on slashing. See those ghosts? Were they ghosts? Or did we just catch Leaden Key? Who knows? Yeah, swap between your weapons and keep up with fighting. It's a bit too tactical for me. Again, I don't think tactically in these games. I play for the story and the beautiful art and the characterization. Which thankfully we get a lot of. Hey look! We made it across. Look at that. Another Inquisition machine. Think it was activated by the Leaden Key? I do, but you know, I have insider knowledge. They crumble to dust when you touch them. But there's a soul in that one. Flame shadows. A haze of essence lingers over the body as faint and insubstantial as a dust plume in a rider's wake. Yet as you draw closer, whispered instructions echo in your ears and anticipation warms your blood. In a vision you see the same stone machine you approached moments ago, but from a different height and angle, as if through different eyes. You'd heard rumors that some of your brethren were sent here months before, yet you see no sign that anyone has been here. In fact, the cobblestones are covered in a fine layer of dust. Ash. You know suddenly what this will cost you, and you are ready. The orders were clear. The effects of the machine in Clîaban Rilag were wearing off. A child had been born not far from Deerford recently, its soul intact. The machine would need to be reactivated. You and your companions pick up your positions. You share a final look of affirmation between yourselves. They don't know your name, and you don't know theirs, but you know that you're doing the work of the gods together. None of the rest matters. 2 carved bands of stone in the middle of the machine grind into motion. They rotate in opposite directions, picking up speed until they spin like freshly greased carriage wheels. A wind shrieks through the cavern, accelerating with the stone rings. You press your hands to your ears and grit your teeth against the noise. You're about to shut your eyes when you glimpse new movement. Rows of triangular flaps around the machine open like petals. You don't know what's happening in the machine, but you feel it tingling at your extremities. Searing pain spreads through your body, a hot knife separating every tissue and ligament within you. All the while, it feels as if you're falling towards the machine. your stomach mashed against your spine. What happens next is too fast to process. You awaken from the vision to find yourself kneeling and gasping for air. Holding your head, you let the tiles between your knees gradually come into focus. As you catch your breath, you remember the strange scene you saw outside Silentlis, where several robed figures fell amidst the howling bivouac. Looking at the ash scattered across the cavern floor, it is apparent that the Leaden Key has been doing this, whatever it is, all across the Deerwood. Quest completed. Through Death's Gate. So, I think we have a decent and compelling reason to stop the Leaden Key, given they appear to be activating machines that create Hollowborn over the entire Deerwood. Something in the ether hums and buzzes through your teeth. The page unturned. Forbidden Book. After failing to prevent 2 additional deaths, Connor and the monks were able to track down the murderer, a secretive scribe of the order that the other monks believed had died years ago. In reality, the scribe had been hiding in the catacombs beneath the monastery and progressively destroying heretical works that he believed spread lies about the origins of the gods. When the monk started to catch on, he killed anyone who raised suspicion. Rather than face punishment, the scribe leapt from the highest tower of the monastery to his death. The scribe's subterranean laboratory kind of discovered several suspicious vials of thick brown fluid. The monastery's herbalists have identified it as a potent poison, the same that likely had been used to kill the monks. Found the blind monk's venom. Uses once per encounter, but 66 raw damage on each weapon if you dual wield on every strike. Very powerful poison. Good job, Connor. The Leaden Key. Find the hollowing of the Deerwood. That's a mighty compelling reason to stop him. Hey. You hear running water and see a small stream that carves its way into the mountain. Inspect the stream. A shallow bottom flickers and wavers just onto the water's edge, but as you look towards the tunnel, the bottom disappears into darkness. From here, it's impossible to tell how deep the stream is. Continue. However, a faint light plays along the walls of the tunnel. The echo of the rushing water suggests that the tunnel and the stream continue for quite some distance. Leave. Leave? Right of useful spirits to increase our athletics. Wade through the tunnel. You take slow, sloshing steps towards the mouth of the tunnel, holding yourself upright while the current tugs at your legs. The cold water leaves you gasping, and as it rises past your waist, you fight to control your breath. The stream bed soon drops out from under your feet, and the current pushes you forward towards the tunnel with growing force. Put on a various diving helmet and swim into the tunnel. You place the helmet over your head and you press forward. It does little to ward off the chill of the stream, but air, at least, is in plentiful supply. The current pushes you through the tunnel faster and faster, tugging you downward. Over your head, the tunnel narrows and drops, leaving only a thin pocket of air. You take a final deep breath before the current drags you into the depths. Rays of light pierce the darkness. The current is moving too fast now for you to see more than the flickering glimpses as you speed by. You keep your hands in front of yourself and focus on avoiding the jagged rocks that appear suddenly in the darkness, jutting from the walls. A light winks at you from up ahead. You're approaching it fast, but it looks to be the mouth of a second small tunnel. You might be able to reach it. Swim towards the glint. You wrap your fingers around the rocks lining the tunnel and peer inside. The tunnel comes to a dead end, but something glints among the rocks at the far side. You pull yourself into the tunnel, which narrows as you progress. At the end, you find a skeleton with a handle protruding from its ribs. You pull it free and push off from the wall, propelling yourself back towards the main tunnel. Swirling and tumbling through the darkness of the tunnel, you at last see a halo of light above, and you swim and kick towards it. At last, your head breaks the surface. Crawling out of the water, you see the cavern around you as you massage feeling back into your aching, cold-numbed limbs. You've gained an item. What a convenient... And look, there's that thing we came across before. You could just walk around, right? It's much more fun to do it. That is a choose your own adventure novel. One of the ones with like dice rolls and checks. I think that's pretty fun to just include. I like that. The Rose of Fault Hollow. A Morning Star. 20% of damage restored as endurance. Healing on attack. That's pretty good. All of your party somehow came with you. Yeah, I know. It's silly, but I like that. It sucks rather than saying, oh boy, you can't do it. And here it is, like, Ivera's diving helmet. Not -1 perception, defense against poison attacks, 35 for defense against dragon breath attacks. Plus, it helps in some points when you're going diving. Anyone remember how he got it? Because I do, and it's pretty silly. We just completed a quest. Hana just went to go investigate it for us. And was like, hey, I beat up some pirates. Here's a helmet. Done. Leaving via the front door, because I said we would. And it's funny. The warrior's turn is to exit the ruin, their painted faces betraying shock and anger. You were warned, Estremo. End dialogue. Two months, 13 days, 9, 30, 901, 853. I want to kill him. We're going to go back a little bit. Essentially, back to before we discovered the truth of the machine, and through those dialogue checks again. I know, it's a bit of a jump. Like 20 minutes or so. But I don't want to kill him for no reason, right? We wanted to give a point to brag to them and be like, well, we got in and out, problem solved, right? Lol. You know, but they straight up said, hey, don't do it. And then we were like, oh, hey, what's going fine? There's no reason to kill him, let's not. Deadman finished the... I'm just going to jump through this again. If you're just tuning in now, and hey, go check out the VOD and join our very cool VOD team who watch through the story when they have time. Hey, VOD team, we love you. Deadman just finished a game called The Council. It was very good. We did enjoy it a lot. But, some towards Flint. There were points where we were like, whoa, we did not like that outcome. That was rough. That's fantastic game, totally worth doing. And we had to live with that. We couldn't just load our saves the way I just did now, right? And I stand by that artistic decision of the designers to be like, yeah, there's one save. If you make a choice you don't like, your choices are replay it or deal with it. You see a forested valley on the other side. You might be able to jump across the gap. Jump! You cleared the gap with that incident. Thanks. The gun is fine this time. You know, I here we're given the choice clearly, because we're not playing an Iron Man, to have multiple saves so that we can reload if something we don't like happens, right? So, let's do that. Take advantage of that option. Hey guys! Time for words has ended, Estremo. Go. Okay, so we discovered something big, really big. What do we do with that information? Go tell the Hermit of Hadron House, right? The council. That was more stressful for the chat than for me. Deadman, look, you got a point. Is it perhaps because you've finished the council before? I'm certainly going to tell someone. Exactly. We're also going to stop by coupling because I want to pick up Durance before we drop in a quest. Why? Well, because it's actually relatively important to have Durance go talk to the other priest of Magrin. Priestess. Filing payday again. Coming more and more around. Supplicant has arrived from Deerford seeking 850 of pieces of an escort. Send an escort. Palagina, go escort this person, okay? Why else would you have a paladin? Goose and Fox. That's right. Generic in name. Very good. It was a good stressful for the council. We enjoyed it.
Hello.
Okay. Not hire an adventurer, but change party. I'm going to say goodbye to
Farewell.
Sagani for just a little bit. We're going to pick up Durance for just a little bit as well. We're also just going to have a nice rest, have a bit of perception and resolve, because we're going to go talk to some people, and those things come up a lot. A Gunid Scion has arrived seeking employment. Well, we'll have to fire a hireling to get this one on board. And we will. He's in green. He's special. Well, he gives -2 renown, but +1 to +2 to security. Well, you're strictly worse than the Compact Knight. Cost a lot more per day. Yeah, fuck it. Guest. Okay. Well, they're fancy. I think it's just fun. We should do it. Maybe strictly less good, but fun. That's a good one. Go up here. Off to first fires. Sort of moment by moment mechanical decisions about how you treat your parcel are often a bit like they're a bit lost on me. There are points where I recognize that I'm into it, I'm enjoying something about it, and that's when we're considering what to build next. What do we want it to look like? Or what's their reputation going to be? The specifics of combat capabilities of the people we hire is a bit harder, right? A call of the court, travel to the Ducal Palace, and speak with Chancellor Warren. Now, this is that person who was like, hey, you don't own your land, I do. We're like, oh, we're going to find out. But first, Firiga.
Good day to you.
Present the Burning Stone. I journey to Searing Falls myself. This is what I found there. She takes the stone in her hands and gasps. By the flame. Do you know what this is? Whatever it is, it sounds like I should have kept it. She turns it in her hands. This is a piece of the God Hammer Bomb. The very weapon that Magriston herself helped us build to defeat Wyden in the Saints' War. She turns the stone in her hands, gazing into its bright glow. Edér says, "That's weird, seeing it in front of you like that. Before it was just stories. It never seemed real." Yet her mouth twists into a frown, and the orange light carves deep shadows across her face. So why don't I feel any differently? What good does this do? Her knuckles whiten as she tightens her fingers around the stone. Hey, chat, what should we choose? 1, 2, 3, or 4? This is an important choice. What lesson is Fear going to take away from this? 1. You hold part of a weapon designed by a god. The very existence of such a thing should fill you with awe. Or 2. Magrin is the goddess of trials, and you sent me to pursue the vision she gave to you. You proved yourself faithless. 3. She entrusted the god hammer to her followers. Perhaps she's trusting them again to end the legacy. Or 4. I don't know what to tell you. They're all distinct responses and very different attitudes towards the gods, Magrin herself as a divinity, and what Fearga should do with that. There's also the High Priest of Magrin here in town. It's true that she didn't go on her quest. We did, as adventurers. It's funny, in games where there isn't a divinity specifically about trials and self-preservation and lifting, not self-preservation, that's actually Galloway, and lifting oneself up through trial, and tempering, endurance, you could just straight up have a decision here, right? To make it a non-decision. The High Priest asks you to go do a favor, you go do a favor for him, problem solved. This is hard. You're exactly right, Emma. And I'm sorry to give the overwhelming stress. I will note that Figure doesn't even have like a voice. I don't think so. They're important, but it's not going to ruin the game if we choose the wrong thing. Think about Slam Shadow. Think about the noble, the clever, the witty, the passionate, and often defender of downtrodden folk against people taken advantage of. What would he choose? How does he feel about these options? We currently have 2 votes for 3 and 1 vote for 2. I think it's pretty funny that no one's just straight up said, yeah, you should be filled with awe with Magrin, right? Because she's so fancy and cool. You should treat her with respect. We've been fucked around by nearly all the divinities so far. Not in huge ways each time, but certainly noteworthy. Just going to give it a little bit more time, and then I'm going to choose 3. Kibble's changing your vote for a 4. Well, I mean, that's the option. If you're very stressed by the weight of the decision, that makes sense. Now we have 1 vote for 2, 1 vote for 3, and 1 vote for 4. A 3-way tie, which usually means that I get to split the vote. Emily, you're going to vote in? How do you feel? I'm kind of cheating because she's in the same room, so I can hear her type. You all get to agonize and stress over a decision. I just get to pour myself a drink. Of water, I'm just putting in the glass of ice now. If drinking alcohol is against this POS. I should have figured that out before I poured myself a drink, huh? That's true. You got a last minute call? I'm sure I hit it. Yeah? It's very you, Kibble. Alright, let's keep this rolling. I'm gonna hit number 3. You changed that to 4 to make it another tie. You're terrible. She entrusted the god hammer to her followers. Perhaps she's trusting them again to end the legacy. Transformation through trial. She turns the stone in her hands. It isn't an easy answer, but I would expect no less from my goddess. This woman hasn't been tried at all. Would that we were alone, I would take it upon myself to instill real transformation. What, by lecturing at her? As she looks at the statue, a flame springs from its raised hand. One of the things I've always loved about Magrin is her affinity for fire, how it grows and spreads. You feel the warmth from the fire rippling across the room. You've given me what I need. I'll make sure to give the people of Defiance Bay the support they need. Defiance Bay, extraordinary, positive. Now let me give you something you might need. She disappears, returning quickly with something in her hands. A weapon worthy of the goddess herself. Please accept it as thanks for your service to Magrin and to me. And an item unforgiven. A flail with extra burn damage, attack speed, and more burn damage. That's a very good flail, to be honest. Too bad none of us use flails. Sirius didn't have much to say, like less than I thought he would.
How do you do?
Hey, records keeper. I'm looking for militia records from the time of Saint 4. We've been through this dialogue before, like 5 episodes ago. But Defiance Bay positive. the first time he turns his full attention towards you, and his eyes flicker in recognition. Of course, that policy is for the general public. Exceptions can be made for those who have already proven their worth. He looks up at a shelf and withdraws a thick volume, shifting a layer of dust aside with his hands. The rosters are in the front, the inventories is dead in the back. He passes into Edér's outstretched hands. Edér leaves to the book for some time anxiously, running his thick farmhand's fingers over page after page of names. At last, his hand stops, his fingers just below one name.
Woden Talej died 18 Majaverno 2808. Third Battle of Clîaban Rilag. Blazing Glantfather names, I swear. Raed Saris?
He stopped short, his eyes bulging. They scanned back and forth over and over. Raed Saris?
I'll be the effigy. He fought for Raed Saris. Why'd he fight for Raed Saris?
He stares at the page, his jaw agape before suddenly looking up at you. I don't know. Neither do I. But he had to have good reason. That's just who he was.
We gotta go there. That battlefield. The one I said. I don't know how else I'm gonna make sense of all this. I gotta see what he saw.
A strange look comes over Edér.
And who knows, maybe his spirit will even be there and you can have one of your weird talks with him. Worth trying, right?
I'll help you any way I can.
I appreciate that. Wish I could say you won't regret it, but you certainly might.
Thanks, Edér. Fragments of a scattered face. Remember, Edér wants to know about his brother's death. Why? Chancellor Warren. Thank you for coming, Flame Shadows. I've been trying to track you down for some time. This is Marshal Foreman, Earl Batamar's military advisor. He will serve as a witness for this proceeding. He gestures at the man next to him. Well met, Road Warden. Your reputation precedes you. I admit, you've created a bit of a stir throughout the nobility with your reclamation of Cadnua. Most are still not sure what to think of you. What's this about? The legitimacy of your claim to Cadnua is in question. Earl Badamar has issued a ruling on the matter. Cadnua was abandoned for over a century, and I've claimed the land through strength of arms. My claim is legitimate. If there were no other claimant, you would be correct. However, unfortunately, this is not the case. Chancellor again had the voice right the first time. All will be made clear once Lord Gathbin arrives. So, do you have any questions for me while we wait? Okay, tell me about Earl Badamar. Earl Badamar comes from an esteemed line of lords that rose to prominence after the War of Defiance some 150 years ago. The Deerwood consists of 7 earldoms. The Badamars govern the northern earldom known as the Grasp. Yes, that what? As to the current Badamar, he is as fine a man as I know. It is an honor to serve him. Alright, tell me more about the Grasp. The Grasp is now the largest of the 7 earldoms after it consumed the pre-war earldom of Yenwood. It encompasses notable settlements such as New Hamar, Garen's Grass, Gilded Vale, and of course, Cadnoa. Yenwood. When the Deerwood was a mere colony of Edér, it was divided into 9 earldoms. When the Adirians were defeated and ultimately driven out, 2 of the earldoms were absorbed and borders were adjusted. Yenwood was one such earldom. I have other questions. What do you know about Gathbin? Well, I've met him but once. There was ample time to determine the character of Lord Edér Gathbin, or lack thereof. He's descended from an old Aderian line that predates the War of Defiance. His great-grandfather, Radag Gathbin, was the Earl of Yenwood during the war. That is, until he was stripped of his lands and driven from the Deerwood. Okay. Do you know which way Earl Badamir is ruled? I'm sorry, my lord, I do not. He has to decree is sealed. Right. What about Road Warden? The, one who rules Cadnor on behalf of the Earl of Yenwood is traditionally known as the Road Warden. His position might not be entirely official yet, but the title is an appropriate form of address. Marshall nods and smiles. Loxy. Funny though. I don't have any more questions. Your time is impeccable. Here comes Lord Gaspin now. I like how Catherine brings one dude and we bring 5 others. an, opu- an opulently dressed man strides towards the Chancellor, his sandy hair trailing him like a banner caught in a light breeze, boot heels echoing throughout the hall. An elven woman with cropped hair dressed in dark, glinting mail shadows his steps before taking position alongside him. She watches you unabashedly, taking your measure. Let's move past this formality as quickly as possible. I've other matters to attend to. It's well known that Cadnor belongs to me, by right. And where is this pretender? He who murdered the Raedricks, my own sister and her husband, and now steals my land? Where is this low-born wretch? Warren clears his throat and glances at you. This man here? This is the Lord of Cadnor? I thought he was just another servant. Perhaps a valet or a porter. Okay, so 2. Really tempting. Raise your hand. Everyone who owns their own keep, raise a hand. Go on, don't be shy. Oh, let's do it. Yeah. One's also funny because, like, yeah, I'm also an aristocrat, eat shit, but, like, from the white that wins. He's just gonna be like, it doesn't count, it's not here. I think it's funny just to taunt him. Imbecile. I hope you've enjoyed your time squatting on my land. Provoke me further, and I'll hang you from the highest wall of Cadnor when our business is finished. Chancellor, read the Earl's decree. Warren breaks the seal on the scroll and unfills it. Regarding the matter of the Gaspin claim on Cadnor, Earl Badamar finds that the Gaspin claim was never relinquished. By law, Cadnor is the rightful property of the Gaspin family. Hey! I knew it. Gaspin smirks at you triumphantly. I'm not yet finished reading, my lord. Gaspin rolls his eyes and motions to the Chancellor to continue. However, the Earl recognizes Slam Shadow's part in reclaiming Cadnor, a site that has stood abandoned, and some would even say cursed, for over a century. Before Cadnor is returned to the Gaspin family, the Earl has decreed that Lord Gaspin will provide compensation in the form of... Absolutely not. Gaspin folds his arms, a defiant scowl on his face. My lord? Warren raises his eyebrows. The amount is quite reasonable and a requirement for your land to be returned to you, if you'll just allow me to finish. I'll not pay a single copper to this miscreant for my ancestral land. Do you think I'm blind to the Earl's motives, lackey? He thinks he can send a message with this insult. I have a message that you can send that son of a whore. Gaspin raises an open hand as the Chancellor shrinks from him, his arms raised in defense. Options. Punch Gaspin, grab Gaspin's arm, yell enough, or do nothing. Hey everyone, what would you like us to do? I've been getting some satisfaction about the, It's also funny, it's like, hey, pay him just a little bit for the land and home you're stealing from these people, and he's like, no. One vote for one, one vote for 2. I'm gonna need a tiebreaker for this one here, friends. What do you think? If we don't get another vote in the next little while, I'm gonna vote myself. I want to punch him. Yeah! Gaspin's nose crunches under your fist. He staggers back with a hand clutched over the injury, teary eyes wide with shock. The elven woman deftly draws a pistol from a thick leather belt. Her eyes widen in anticipation. My lords, please, there's no need for violence. Lord Gaspin holds his gaze for several heartbeats, his eyes burning with hatred. I'll be coming for what's mine. Count on it. Come, Captain Emery, we're leaving. He sneers defiantly before storming down the hall. The captain lowers her pistol and gives a smirking shrug before following her employer. Yeah, what a jerk. Well, I can't say that Gaspin's reaction was entirely unexpected. Through no fault of your own, I'm afraid you've made a powerful enemy. He did seem a little upset, didn't he? Well, he's always been vicious, even as a boy, and he can hold a grudge for a very long time. In any case, Cadnoa now officially belongs to you, since Lord Gaspin has rejected the Earl's decree. He hands you a deep blue scepter, which looks to be carved entirely out of sapphire. Yeah, this belonged to one of the old lords of Cadnoa, but by right, it's yours now. Option 3. Please extend an invitation to Lord Gaspin to feast with me within the halls of Cadnoa. No need for us to be enemies. That is a generous offer, and I'll make sure it reaches Lord Gaspin. I'm not giving him 1,000 copper pieces, which is another option. No. Thanks for the cool stick, but no. It was a pleasure to finally meet you, my lord. Warren bows. Perhaps we'll meet again. We'll speak again under more pleasant circumstances. Farewell, Slam Shadows. The marshal nods at you and leaves. If he turns up for dinner, we're making fun of him, and you know it. Task completed. Call short. Siege, through the form, call 5 stars, built the lost. Still not doing that. Long font, dream in memory. Yeah, lost the below, trials of endurance, fragments of shattered faith. We'll do that soon. Can't do that yet. 5-minute Patrick House. Recommended piece of Slam Shadows private. Of which they are satisfying and full of flavor. I'm not sure what that means. Hilarious though, no doubt about that. Huh. Fast mode running sounds very silly. Off to Brackenberry. Upstairs at Hadra House. Don't steal from that, we won't get away with it. And talk to Lady Webb.
How fares your search?
There's something I can tell you about the Leaden Key's operations.
Well, let's hear it.
The Leaden Key is manipulating a group of egg-whizzing machines that span the country and seems to be causing the Hullaborn epidemic.
I had feared they might be involved in Widewind's legacy. It seemed too extreme even for them. How naive I've been. The Leaden Key's conspiracy is clear now. They have used Engwithan technology to engineer Widewind's legacy, and they want people to blame Animancy for it. As we speak, the Duke is holding hearings in the palace. He is listening to arguments for and against Animancy. When they finish, he is expected to decide whether to outlaw it. It seems the Leaden Key has been pushing Deerwood down this path for some time. I, for one, would enjoy seeing their little scheme fouled up at the last moment. Our Duke must hear what you have to say. Unfortunately, the hearings are closed to the public, which makes the Duke inaccessible until they are completed. However, certain groups have been invited to attend. You might get in with one of them if you aren't above a little pandering. There are delegations from the Knights of the Crucible, the Dozens, and from House Dominel. If you can gain the support of one of those groups, that may be your best way in. See what you can arrange.
Hilariously, we cannot choose House Dominel, because they're all dead. We are, in fact, failed quests we didn't know existed because we killed the leader. I want to discuss the Animancy hearings of the palace.
What of them?
Why wouldn't they allow guests of Dunwood Road to the hearings? Someone in chat, like Larksy, they said that you should be able to do it.
We would only do that as a last resort. Walking in with one of the 3 invited groups puts you in a position of influence. Walking in alone as a representative of Dunreed Row would earn you distrust among all the rest. It seems our organization has a reputation for nosiness and manipulation for whatever reason.
Was me, lol, I swear. Jiglet's just to one side.
It would be best if people did not see Dunreed Row's hand in this. Easier for them to embrace the truth.
What is there to know about the Duke?
Avar is many things to many people, and that is why he sits the throne. To the frontiersmen, he is one of their own. To the patriotic, he is a sole descendant of Admeth Hadrit. To the nobility, he is from an old and established family. All of these are half-truths or exaggerations, a tale he has spun around himself. The man behind the tale may not be the greatest mind in Deerwood, but he knows people. He knows when they are sincere and when they lie. He knows when they are strong and when they are weak. The other matters he leaves to me. Outwardly, he prefers to come off a bit of a simpleton. Don't be fooled. Before he was a duke, he was a trapper, and an excellent one at that.
Oh well. Alright, chat. We're down a couple of our regulars, so they need to catch up in VODs. Lovely to have you in VODs, always a part of the team. If you want to vote on the things we're doing, you need to join us live, though, because we need to choose between 2 options. Because House Dominel is not a choice. The Dozens, the somewhat barely organized militia, to name themselves after the 12 people that stood on the bridge to delay Widewind and Aethys before the Godhammer bomb went off and protected Deerwood from the invasion of Raid Ceres. Or the Knights Crucible, the group of... They're cops. They're fucking cops. They're cops in full plate armor, and their quest is to please deliver them a series of... give them information on how to, like, animate their soldiers with souls so that they can have Robocops wandering the streets. We straight up must choose one of the 3 groups, and Dominel is dead. We cannot visit them. We can't walk in and speak to anyone because they're just not there. So I need a vote. I'm going to say 1 for the Dozens, or 2 for the Crucible Knights, sorry. Crucible Knights. You know what we're going to do? I'm going to do this. Hope there's not too much of a spoiler of which way I want to go. You don't have to pick the same way as me. I'm happy to play through, but I would prefer to go through with the Dozens rather than the Crucible Knights. I've done both. I haven't done House Dominel yet. So every time I wander in, they say something like, "How about you murdered this person because they slighted me?" I go, "Yeah, no." Luxy, getting on board. Love it. I just wanted to briefly cough. It's the choice we gotta make soon, because it is 9:35 and we're finishing at 10, much like normal. And we should and we should talk it through and make our choice and go forward. So, Dead Man, Golem King, and Kibbled. You have absolutely enough to turn this vote around. What are we gonna do? I dig it, Dead Man. I'm gonna count that as a 1, okay? For the dozens. Don't go with the... We didn't like him. So much so that like everyone in chat didn't want me to complete one of the quests we'd actually already mostly completed. We've picked up the item to save the Scrivener, and we just haven't given it to the cops so they figure out how. I'm fine with this. Also, one of the main reason I chose the dozens because I feel like we've already done the... I think we've already done the quest for it. So it'll save us a bit of time. Because we're cool like that. We've made friends. I'm going to call it in just a moment, unless we get some more people shout out that they absolutely want us to join the Crucible Knights. Chat, it's up to you. We're about to go. I'm walking towards the dozens. I'm gonna stop and sell some random junk while I wait for chat. You can do it. Alright. No additional votes. We're doing it. I don't know if we're strictly joining the dozens, or we're asking them if they could perhaps speak on our behalf. Just let us into the hearing. Give us a little bit of an A and a B. Hey, Wennon. Wennon casually nods your way. His eyes continue to float from mercenary to mercenary as he speaks. What else do you need? So the dozens are part of the Animancy hearing to the Ducal Palace.
Someone's got to keep the blazing Crucible Knights from leading us all to ruin, and the Dominels certainly aren't doing their part. But Wolfgren's still a man of the people. He's always been sensible in other matters. He'll hear us out eventually.
What are your thoughts on Animancy? It'll be a downfall if we let it. If we're meant to meddle in the affairs of the soul, there's only fools that can't see it, or troublemakers that won't. He leans in, unfolded. I suspect we got more than a few of those vying for the Duke's ear. Fear, cheats, and forwards looking to profit from a disaster. Well, how are the hearings going? Morley tells me it's a rough fight. The Duke's always looking for any means he can combat the legacy, and everyone knows the Knights are working on him in the background. As the Dominels, can't tell what they're up to. They are dead. Probably taking coin from Knights to keep this whole farce going. I was hoping to attend the Animancy hearings for the dozens. He sucks in his cheeks. Aldrich sold on you. But for a favor like that, I'll need something more.
I do have something, if you don't mind stepping on the toes of the Crucible Knights. Come to think of it, the Dominels won't be too pleased either. They've never liked seeing someone with nicer things than them.
Where do I begin?
Some of my other expeditions have come back with a rumor about a place called Learemen up near Stormwall Gorge. It's supposed to hold some of the greatest weapons those Engwithan bastards ever made, and we've got need of them.
Aggressive, too. He casts a sidelong glance at you. The Knights are meddling in Animancy, befuddling souls to build metal warriors. Surely you can understand why we need to be ready to strike first. We've got to defend ourselves in the city. If there's anything that can stand a chance against this madness, if there's anything that can stand a chance against this madness, its weapons may be the Inquisitors themselves. Made the same kind of abominations in their time. They know how to kill them. I've sent the giant slaves after the weapons, but I haven't had much luck so far. They've had fighters and treasure hunters. Meet up with them at Woodend Plains and see how far they've gotten. If you can get those weapons, I'll see you get your cut. What's the harm in arming a bunch of angry folks who don't like to think all that much? Farewell. Ooh. This one hurts. To get into the good books, we've got to do a bad thing. Break into Inquisition
Next
ruins
time I
again.
get the chance, I'm buying you a pint. That means a lot, Edér. Oh, do you want one too? Sorry, I meant for Isselmir. I'll get you one too.
Edér. Well, off we go. We're in planes. We'll also before we go to Stormwall Gorge, we'll do Wooden Plains first. We're gonna take a side tour over to finish. Go do the next step of Edér's quest. We know exactly where that is, and we were just there a little while ago. Hey, now chapel. That's the one. Allow you to purchase scrolls from the priest. Get ourselves some vendors. Build ourselves a tower. Searching this map we've already completed for people who only appear now. the Edér Edér ad Alos Isselmir. I'm stumbling a bit tonight. Fine, the nimble. Fine I see with the amusement, but his voice carries menace. You must be lost, pup. The giant slayers don't share bounties. Wayden sent me to help. He stops leaning against his sword and grips the pommel. Wayden sent you? A knot forms at his jaw. Bend and leer. The well-groomed man leans in, swaying as if drunk. You think you can get the weapons? You've got two problems, Ricky. A flooded entrance for one and crucible patrols for another. We've seen more knights than face painters out here. Why are the knights of the crucible here? Time to find now. The glorified thugs in armor and usually prefer their feathered beds to camp cots. I'd got one in an instant, but I can't collect bounties as a wanted man. Alright, tell me about the flooded entrance. Must be the rains. He shrugs. We found us in the water, though. He holds up a flat, circular piece of adver and drops it into a pack on his belt. Not much natural art around here. Might be a key of some kind. Couldn't experiment much with this damn knights prowling around. Alright, so what do you know about these weapons? Wayden's paying good coin for them. That's all I need to know. Alright, so what now? It's an interesting question. You see, we never, ever shares bounties. His companions move to stand in line with him, hands on their weapons. That's Wayden's problem, not mine. You should talk to your employer. I'll have words with Wayden, don't worry about that. He steps forward, his weapon now in his hand. You still shouldn't have come. What jerks, right? Intellect. Admit it. You have no idea what to do next, or you wouldn't be sitting around out here. Bine's face flushes bright red. His hand inches towards his axe, but it finds the adredisc instead. He held it at your feet. Let's see you do better. Unless you're all talk, that is. He turns to his companions. Come on, hot meals for us tonight. I'll deal with these upstarts later. Be seeing you. He turns to his partners and nods. They follow his lead down the hill. That's fucking weird. They're so excited and interested in fighting. I kind of hate that quite a bit, actually. Not just because Howard doesn't suddenly very quite immediately changed into massive jerks. Oh, hey, good to see you. Good timing. I wander all the way to Clîaban Rilag to get a bit of Edér's side quest. Thank you for joining us, Cicely. Thylacine. Yeah, that's the one. I've been stumbling over my words
This
all
is the
night.
place. My big brother's last battle. I wish I could tell you what we're looking for.
Edér scans the lush landscape before you in all directions. He presses his lips together.
Anything from that battle, I guess. Whatever 15 years of rain hasn't buried. You see my brother's ghost, you give me a holler, all right?
He looks at you. He winks. Alright, Edér. We'll look for him.
Not much here.
Hey, they're still here.
Too recent.
That corpse we looted a little while ago. No need for apologies. It's nice for apologies. It's nice to have you here. You can always catch up in the vault.
No, never mind.
You can always catch up in the vault, or just enjoy our time together for what it is. Piggy? We got a pig. Pig goes in the pet slot. Piglet. Young dog, roughly the size. Young pig is roughly the size of a small dog. It half trots, half runs at your side in an effort to keep pace and snorts appreciatively when its flanks are scratched. Good thing too. Good little piggy. We might eat it.
Can't guard that place forever.
Huh. Lusa and Leader. You guys weren't here a little while
These
ago.
ruins are claimed, friend. On your way.
Well, hey, Liam and Brian.
No need to get riled, boys. We're just passing by.
Matt and Liam arguing in character again.
Look at his talisman, Pag. Eothasian.
He indicates Edér.
How about that? A godless sack of shit. We got a blazing corpse worshiper on our hands.
Actually, they never found the body.
Edér fumes. He opens his mouth to say something and then closes it. He quickly replaces his frown with a polite smile.
Only reason for the legacy is because the Duke doesn't got the guts to see you all slaughtered. The gods want you dead. Me and Pag, though, we done our part during the purges, didn't we, Pag?
Rips his saber.
Seamstresses?
Make your cracks now. Got no god or homeland to avenge you. By Magrin, this'll be short work.
If we were a Magrin worshipper, we could straight up say, don't know about that, buddy. Do you always swear by your god when you do a devil's work?
Doesn't matter who it was for anyway. Country's better for the purges. Maybe we start a new purge right here.
He readies his weapon. End dialogue. Seamstresses do have skills, Emma. Exactly. Alright, Looter Leader. There are two of them. There are six of us.
Me too.
And Dan's got a fancy sword. Like, we know how this is gonna go. We've charmed this one already. I hear his slam shadows. Take a drink, buddy. You finished the job.
Need to try something else.
Hey.
What are you doing in Malay, Alos? The piggy craves death? Or the looter
they were
craves
right.
death?
That was short work.
Exactly, Edér. Looter. Patch of dirt interactable now. They weren't before. Mud. Raid Saren standard piece. The tip of some metal object protrudes from a mound of watery river silt. With both hands, you and Edér begin digging in the mud until the object is dislodged. You close your hand around it and pull it from the wet earth. The object is a steel, semicircular frame about the size of your fist. At even points around the semicircle, jagged points jut out like tongues of flame, the rays of a rising sun. At the sun's center is a carved silhouette of a Vorless plant.
I've seen these before. They top the standards of Raid Ceres. Or did when Weidwin was alive. Well, it's something. Just not sure what it gets me.
He takes it from you and looks it over, flipping it over and over in his hand. Show it to grieving mother. Do you think you can help us? Look, I appreciate you taking the initiative, but I don't think there's much chance that this nice stranger lady happens to be a cipher. grieving mother. The grieving mother looks looks at you. I will do what I can, but I will need the skill of a watcher to aid my own to identify the soul once I've found its traces. She turns to Edér, her hand outstretched. Edér hands her the steel sun. The motion is mechanical, unconscious. The grieving mother takes the sun in one hand and yours in the other, and you can feel her presence in your mind, her thoughts bidding you to relax. Focus, she says. The word reverberates as if through an endless chasm. You close your eyes and concentrate. The sun is bright in your mind's eye, warm with the pulse of collective experience, and noisy with the thoughts of the past, of battle, of faith, of home. You drift from voice to voice, thought to thought, Edér's soul a vibrant signature with which to locate his brother. One voice stands out amidst the din, brassy and earnest, a shade brighter than Edér's, but unmistakably of the same construction. You have no image of its owner, but his journey is imprinted within the points and curves of the steel sun. And in your mind it opens before you as a path stretching both southward to Gilded Vale and northward over the uneven terrain that joins the Deerwood to Rad Sereth. You trace the path back to its origin, far back as you can find, gliding over plains and hillsides to a one-room home in Gilded Vale with a thatched roof and a dirt floor. The path is faint here, its distance and time rendering images blurry and details scarce. From Gilded Vale it follows a road towards Madmur Bridge, reaching the gates of Defiance Bay before diverting abruptly, cutting northward in a beeline for Rad Sereth. The path leads to Rad Sereth City, regal and austere in the Edér imperial style. It winds through streets and climbs a grand set of stairs into a stately building, passing through pointed archways into what appears to be a throne room. Upon the throne sits a man whose head is pure, blinding light, and as its gaze turns to you, the light drowns out all else. Its voice carries the force of thunder, but its words are impossible to make out in the imprint. Echoes of echoes. The voice and light fade. The path bends backward, carrying you along to a barracks, then southward, marching to Deerwood, and skirmishing along the way. On one battlefield, the imprint is vivid, and you see a Rad Sereth standard topped with a steel sun clutched in the hands of a fallen soldier. You see a young man in Rad Sereth armor with Edér's straw-colored hair race towards the standard and lift it. The path you've been following clear to see beneath his feet, and as his hand brushes the steel tip, you can hear his thoughts racing in a blur, and they are of his god and his country, and a brother he hopes is far away from this place. In an instant, your thoughts are gone, as well as the man, and the standard is passed to another soldier. You pick up the path again as it meanders south and disintegrates in the shadow of Clîaban Rilag. You open your eyes.
Anything? Looked like you were working real hard there.
Your brother got as far as Defiance Bay before turning to Rad Sereth instead. He met Widewind there. Then he enlisted.
What'd he talk about with Widewind?
I don't know.
That's not funny. Come on. That metal sun, my brother touched it. You saw where he went. Now what'd he talk about with Widewind? Why'd my brother fight for Rad Sereth?
I wish I had something better to tell you.
I guess that's it.
Edér's mouth hangs open and his eyes glaze. His forehead creased between his eyebrows. He rakes his teeth over his lower lip. His voice is barely a whisper. We'll find some other way to know why he did what he did.
I don't think we will. What will we do? Look for more war relics? We were lucky to find this one. Soldiers that fought with him are long dead. The battle was a massacre. Whatever Aethys knows, he's not talking to anyone.
A new look has come over Edér, lifeless and dull as ash. We don't have to wait around anymore. I got what I needed. If only there were words to fill such emptiness. Better yet, to remove his doubt, his questions. I regret that my answers have only deepened his pain. Quest completed. Fragments of a shattered faith. So sad, Edér. Exactly right, Kibbled. And actually, the beam of light for her head probably did have something to do with it. Maybe. Maybe not. In all descriptions of Aethys inhabiting Widewood, he has the beam of light for his head. It's not mentioned that people lose their ability to object. But as an Aethys worshipper, you go to see this person, this state religious figure, to figure out, right? Is it true? Or are you just attacking? Oh, cool. Here are the Truthful Knights, right? You go there to confirm your suspicions. Are you actually what you say you are? Is this true? And he did see that, right? This man's head is on fire. It's covered in light. I'm sorry, not fire. It's the fire godlike.
Comes for you.
Glowing light out of nowhere. I guess he got the answer he was after, and the answer was yeah.
Don't even slow her down.
Quick.
Unfortunately, I gotta say, Mr. Combat finishes. Thank you. Unfortunately, I gotta say, there's actually no other way to end that quest. Fragments of a Shattered Faith doesn't have many twists and turns. If you're not a hero of Defiance Fae, you can kill the Records Keeper or steal. If you're really good at stealth, just steal the option and learn everything that way. But there's no way. I don't know. There's no way to get extra information. There's no way to solve things. There's no way for Edér to discover something really positive that changes his life. He does not find the solution. It's just a sad quest about a cheery, happy man who's been through a lot, including a bad thing. He searched for more answers and he found a little bit more info and got some background information, but he did not come to a conclusion. And yet the process itself, seeking, learning, going on that, changes him somewhat. The starlight illuminates the pattern in the ground. He kneeled to get a better look. The stone here has been carved with a few simple shapes. A small circular indentation marks the center, a much larger circle surrounds it. You see what appears to be writing above the two circles. Place the edge disc in the indentation. The stone rests easily in the space, and you feel air rushing into tiny gaps in the indentation. It appears to be held firmly in place now. Continue. You hear the sliding of stone underneath your feet and a sudden rush of water. The pool before you begins to drain. And now we can go down. But, as you may have realized, it's essentially 10 o'clock. We're coming to the end of our 3-hour stream that we do every week. Hello, hello. Lovely to have you. So, the Bronze Boost Lake has been updated. I'm going to save our game. I'm going to title it Sad Edér. Because he deserves a bit of recognition for that. And we can be pleased with ourselves for essentially solving the mystery of what is causing. Press the button to turn the waterfall on. Yes, exactly. It's funny how it appears to be a regular puzzle, but when you walk up with the thing, put it in, problem solved. I feel like there may have been a development opportunity missed there, which kind of sucks. But hey, you do what you can. Pre-stream planning. There you go. So luckily wasn't as heavy as the previous one, where we had sacrifice and innocent daughters being used as political and physical weapons. That sucked. This time we just had this sad story of Edér to cap off the episode. But it is a story worth examining and going through. I really like it, and I'm glad that we all have, found Edér a really companionable and enjoyable companion. I don't think he appears at the top of best CRPG character companion quest, right? Because that quest itself didn't have many twists and turns. He's just like, hey, I thought I heard my brother fought for Raid Ceres, but that can't be true, right? We go get information, turns out he might have, and then we go confirm it. That's it. So all of its character work, it's all everything we already know about Edér, it's everything else we know about Raid Ceres, and that really in-depth emotional reading, being a watcher, finding history, and getting information that way by telling stories through that evocative language, imagery, which I just a sucker for, clearly. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a lot of overlap between the people who quite like Pillars of Eternity and the way these things are written out, and maybe the Wind. I mean, that Patrick Rothfuss's prose is actually absolutely full of this very flowery and deep and kind of pretentious, let's be honest, language. And I love it. I just do. Makes things feel important. It really, it's so evocative, so I just love it. Anyway, it's been a lot of fun. Thank you very much for joining me. I appreciate everyone jumping in and chatting for a little while, and everyone who tuned in live, and everyone who's watching the VODs. It's been fantastic fun. I should note, two things. Bit of housekeeping. Number one, we're coming up to the end of part 2. Oh, thank you very much, Silasine. I'm really glad you managed to jump in. We're coming up to the end of part 2, right? Like, this is... It seems like we're coming to a head. We're going to go to the Xanomancy hearings, the last quest that isn't the end of part 2. Something's going to happen there, and then we'll enter part 3 of the game, right? And that's endgame. We'll start doing some side questing in the White March, which is a sizable, I'd say it's an act in itself. And then we do Act 3, right? And then the game finishes, and we can celebrate ourselves together. We'll have a bit of a wrap-up, so hopefully we won't finish the game right on 10 o'clock. If we do, we'll just go over. And then we'll go into Pillars of Eternity 2. And that's been great. I really hope you're all enjoying the experience. We are playing a lot of the game. We're not skipping any side quests unless we actively hate them, and even the one we actively hated, we did 90% of it, just didn't do the final dialogue. So that's a lot of time spent. It's a big game. So I really hope you've been enjoying it. And thank you very much, Kibbled and Luxy, saying that you've enjoyed it. And number 2, we're going to stream on this Wednesday night. That's 2 days from now, also at 7 o'clock. I'm going to update the stream calendar to say I'll be playing Final Fantasy 1 with the Pixel Remaster Collection. It's going to be a blind playthrough, and I hope we'll have a good time. Streaming on an additional night for 3 hours is one of the things I need to do to become a Twitch affiliate. And while I'm not rushing towards monetizing a hobby, yay capitalism, it is a nice goal to strive towards. So streaming on another night is something we'll need, but another thing we need is follows. So reach out to your friends, and if you know people who like Final Fantasy, want to see someone play through blind, and want to jump in the chat and help me do it, join us on Wednesday night, okay? And we'll give them a follow. Otherwise, thank you very much for having me tonight. I hope we'll have you again Wednesday. Good night, everyone. Stay safe, stay inside, go out for your mandated 1 hour's walkies, and have a rest when you can find it as well.